Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round 2 of the Octane Online Racing Porsche Cup and GT4 Multi-Class Series, proudly brought to you by Thermaltake. Tonight we're racing at the stunning Kyalami Grand Prix circuit in South Africa, a track rich in motorsport history and full of technical challenges. Measuring 4.5 kilometres and boasting 16 corners, Kyalami tests every bit of a driver's skill, from the heavy braking zone at turn 1 and their hairpin, all the way through to the rapid fire sweeping curves and the most famous sausage curve in Assetto Corsa. This is sure to be an exciting race. We're coming off a thrilling season opener at Donington Park, where Keys took the checkered flag in the Porsche Cup and Ricciuti dominated the GT4 class with a calculated and consistent drive. With championship points already on the line, the pressure is building early in the season, and again, I'm not alone in the booth. Joining me tonight is fellow commentator and sim racing strategist Matt Madden. Mate, welcome back, and what are you looking forward to with the series moving to Kyalami tonight?
Ooh, I've got some shivers down my spine, mate. You've really set the mood for us tonight. Mate, as far as it goes, this is one of my favourite tracks in ACC and worldwide racing. I just think it's so exciting and it's such tight quarters. There's some really good overtaking spots, but also it's really, really easy to defend at this track. Really, really great to actually get your car in the middle of the track, block people, show a bit of nose as well, though, if you're attacking. So I think we're going to see a lot of close racing, a lot of nail-biting moments as well with that famous cheetah curb, which we saw a few people hit the other night in the Academy Series race, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on.
That seems exactly right. We had a few cars absolutely kill themselves. And I also, building on from your point, as much as it's easy to defend here, there's a lot of turns that follow on to the next one. So it'll be interesting to see when those Porsche Cup cars come through the field, whether or not they'll actually be getting through quite easily, or having a little bit of trouble getting through the field with how tight and technical this track is. But mate, I'm so looking forward to an awesome night racing. We can currently see the GT4s out there for our qualifying, and they're a little bit into it at the moment, coming up to their first lap and finishing off. So we'll start seeing some flying laps coming through very soon. But mate, coming off an awesome Academy series at Kyalami, we had lots of practice here through the week, mate. What are we looking about at the start? Because we all know what turn 1 at Kyalami is, and I'm not sure if you haven't watched it before. Give us a little bit of insight, Matty.
Well, all I can think of is the famous clip from Mulls some time ago now, which was the famous, we'll just leave out some of the expletives, but talking about the absolute car park that can come about from turn 1. It's good that we've got the Porsche Cup cars going off first, so we won't have the GT4s slowing anyone up, but I'm sure there'll be some nail-biting moments as we're going out on cold, icy blue tyres, trying to hit that first turn at speed and own your rights to the track. I think that it's going to be so slippery out there, even though we are later into, I believe it's mid-morning now, and it's going to be a balmy 22, 28 degrees on track. But I still think that we'll see some slippy slidey there from the Porsches. It's actually a really high downforce track, and especially when you've got cars that, really, as we see the Brat car going up there, making a personal statement there, Griffiths. Well done, Blake. So we've got the really high downforce track with some cars that are actually quite slippy, especially with that really low ABS and TC, no TC, in fact. So expect a bit of happy tail wagging as we go around this track today, I reckon.
Looking at the current times, we've got Stefano still back in the lead again, and really trying to build on his championship here, really making a statement that going, look, if we can't get any further up the field in Sprint Series, I'm going to take this GT4 Series by the throat and make it his.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. I'm just looking at the note on it's Brat Summer. I really thought it was Hot Girl European Summer at the moment. It seems like everyone's off to Europe. I don't know how you were feeling, Dave. I have it on good authority that you're quite warm, but I'm freezing as we have a lovely rainy evening in Sydney, which is not my favourite winter weather. So it's good to go over and enjoy the South African summer, rather, as we look at a beautiful Kyalami. Now, Dave, where does this track sit for you in terms of your all-time favourites, your least favourites? What do you like about it? What do you hate? Let's talk about that for a sec.
I was lucky enough that it was only my first race on Tuesday night in Academy at Kyalami, so I think it's definitely high up on the cards. I actually had a really good race. I had evidently the fuel stop glitch where we had to put 3 litres in and it dropped the car straight away. So my pit stop didn't count, but no, luckily enough with the Academy Series not really counting any points, I just drove on, and then we all knew where we finished by the end of the night. But Kyalami's up there, do I think it comes naturally to a lot of people? Probably not. It's definitely a little bit more tight and twisting, I think, with sim racing. The Spas and the Silverstones of the world kind of come to the forefront with the fun factor and how good these GT3 cars go around those tracks. But seeing these GT4s on track, really kind of interests me. That maybe we should have done the GT4s here rather than the GT3s, because they look like a hell of a time to drive.
Geez, that'd be fun. I'm particularly interested to watch some racing around the 2 sweeping right-handers of Sunset and the S's up to, I think it's Lukop is how the hairpin up the top of the track is pronounced. Those are going to produce some pretty interesting moments. I reckon as well, as we start to get into that blue flag territory, expect to see it at a similar time, maybe just a little bit later this week in comparison to what we saw last week at Brands Hatch. I do think those Porsche Cup cars will catch up to the GT4s, kicking around that 12th lap or so. Once that happens, we should see some blue flag carnage as we try and navigate our way through, particularly this section here that we're just on board with Benny Vintner, our man now. What a guy, Benny Vintner. What a performance.
New name to the GT4 series. Yeah, missed out on week 1 and is coming in strong. We've got Stefano Ricciuti at the top, Benny V, and then Lupti coming in 3rd at the moment. So they're all trying to stack up a little bit of this field. They've gone, well, Porsche Cup's not what we were interested in. Let's go race some low downforce, low steering, loose rear end GT4 cars. Oh my goodness, as Benny V just sends it over the sausage curb and somehow stays valid. Still up in the splits as well. So, a bit of a rough last turn. So still probably won't get to pole right here, but this is his first time in the GT4 cars in the new series, and looking forward to try and make a bit of a statement early.
Absolutely. I wanted to check out there. I'm watching the YouTube chat. G'day to everyone that's in there. We can see Saxon, Jan, Sam as well. I hope everyone's recovered well enough from last night's debacle and races. Man, we saw some action in the sprint series as we had that reverse grid. The first race was pretty clean. I think there was a lot of really good, really tight racing out there, but the instant that top 20 comes around and makes that flip, holy moly, Dave, I think you and I almost had coronies and kittens sitting there in our... Well, I was tucked up in bed watching the race, but I think you were on the lounge almost spilling your glass of red wine. What's your takeaway from that? How do you feel? How do you recover from that many collisions in a single race?
I can tell you this much as I wouldn't mind racing it, I was happy last night to be sitting there watching a couple of streams and had the YouTube open, listening to the lovely dulcet tones of our commentators last night, because race 1 probably went as planned for a lot of people. The qualifying set the order pretty standard. I know Babs did an absolute amazing job last night in the second split, but the invert, the 20 car invert was really something to look forward to. I think that it only ever done before a 10 or a 12 car invert. Someone might be in chat might be able to help me out with that, but having the 20 car invert really threw a spanner in the works. I saw Lele and Cook really struggling to get through last night in their split, trying to get back to the front, where actually in their first race they really just drove away from the field. But mate, the 20 car invert, really made sure that some fresh names were in the top 3, and I loved seeing that.
Yeah, big shout out to our Academy race director, Saxon Hayes. An excellent performance. Also, almost caught first there on the last lap. Some pretty bloody close racing, and we're beaming with pride here as 2 Academy races ourselves. It's really good to watch just how close and tight the sprint series is, and as we've mentioned, we're pushing up towards that series next year, and I'm sort of biting my nails as I anticipate a little bit more of that carnage next year or next season. But we'll see how we end up now. Now, a quick look to track, Davo. We've got the Porsche Cup cars now out on track. We're following Miles at the moment. Now we've just switched to Keys in that 500 Fruit Bowls car. Actually, I got it last week. JC flicked me a message, man of the people, routine sim racer and very quick driver. JC actually let me know that it's more than 700 Fruit Bowls that Lucas Keys has raced in. Mate, 700, I don't think I've really done 700 of anything in my life, maybe aside from wake up and consume beers, but 700 is a decent number. I think that's getting close to the 10,000 hours mark alone.
Those guys roll out 20 minutes including qualifying. 700 is still a lot of hours behind the wheel. We had a lucky enough to jump in a few of them this week when they were practicing for Spa, and they come fast and furious, those fruit bowl races. So 700 is no funny number to laugh at, but it is a concerted effort, but I think that can be improved upon. I think there's a lot of fruit bowlers out there that might be gunning for that number.
Anyone in the chat, in the YouTube chat tonight, if you're a maths fiend, Dave and I aren't particularly, but if you can go away and tell me exactly how many hours 700 races is, we'll be forever in your debt. We'll definitely bring that up and have a chat about just how much time that is. So we see Jantelli, go JC, absolutely. Look at the times that we're laying down. We've got fellow Academy man, Tio as well, Jason Tio there. We've got Brown at back. Hopefully no more hardware failures this week. We've got a pretty tight grid with some of them just only a couple of hundredths apart here, Dave. What's your prediction based on the results that we saw last week? I know that Lucas Keys will probably be up front and charging away again, but anything can happen. Have you got some thoughts on the front of the GT4 pack this week? Because we saw some really close racing last.
This week I've currently got my eyes on McDowell, a Porsche driver in the Sprint Series. See if he can kind of translate some of that sponsorship deal money that he seems to be getting with Porsche across to the Porsche Cup car, and see if he can get a little bit further up the field. He had a actually pretty solid race through last night, was consistently in the top 10, and I think qualified top 5 maybe actually in race 1 of his first split. So really looking forward to seeing if he can kind of get a bit closer to the front and potentially step on the podium. But yeah, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I really think that Zach Jensen really laid down the law last week. There was a lot of we've seen a Porsche Cup car hit the cheater curb there. Well done, McDowell. Good work holding that together. I think these cars are going to be just a little bit more receptive than what we saw in the GT3s on Tuesday night for us. But no, I do think that Zach Jensen stands a really good chance this week to push up through. But our man in the Wee Bear cars, I'm really, really excited to watch that car go round and round the track again, as you mentioned. I think that's such a cool livery. And we found out last week as well that his kids were really, really excited to have that brought up on stream. What an absolute treat to get your kids involved in this awesome hobby. We do see some young racers coming in. I think it's Ibrahim Bank, or it might be Ibrahim's son, that races in the Academy Series. But it's so cool to see the next generation of sim racers actually starting to get involved. No doubt, Davo, when they hit the ripe old ages that we currently sit at, they'll be far, far better than us, no doubt. It's a bit like golf, I reckon. The earlier you pick it up, the faster or the better you get.
You're also training them to be designated drivers when the mother and father aren't able to drive home at night. So if it's a short trip down home, put them in the driver's seat. Maybe they can get you home. But, yeah, as long as they're not hitting curbs in the real world, that would be a bit crazy. There we go. Toto comes through with his 897 races in Fruit Bowl translate to 299 hours if you include qualifying.
That is absolutely terrifying, and it only feels fitting that we're getting that information as we're in South Africa. We've got Toto's Africa. Thank you so much, Toto Awesome-o.
Shout out to anyone from the South Africa that's come to Australia as well, because I know there's plenty of people that have come over and now make Australia home. So if you've got anyone in the chat, yell out, say hello. However, can you let us know how you say hello in Afrikaans, isn't it?
Afrikaans would be one of the many supported languages over there, mate. One of the most interesting things that we'll probably bring up a little bit later. Does anyone know the national animal of South Africa? Pop your answers and suggestions in the chat, and we'll see where we land. There's been some previous suggestions thrown around in some of the Academy walkthroughs, I believe, some time ago. So jump in and see if you can pick what the national animal is. I've also just seen that Lucas has done 1,797 laps on Bathurst just in the Fruit Bowl. Someone needs to check if that's a cry for help. Someone should check in.
There are friends out there, mate. Give us a buzz. We'll let you come play some golf, maybe. Might spice up the hobby list. But shout out to Tio, mate. Jason Tio. P2 for an academy driver. Mate, doing us proud.
Holy cow, you have to pour some water over those brakes and tyres, mate. He's coming hot. That is an unbelievable standing early on as we come to our last couple of laps now with Teo beating Patrick Johnson up there. I hope Paddy's keeping a keen eye on Teo here. That's a outstanding result from our academy man who had a lot of laps on this track on Tuesday night as well. And
oh my goodness, that Porsche just did not touch the ground the whole way down the hill. It hit the inside curve and bounced the entire way across the track. Hold on to it, Mr. McDowell. I'm glad he survived that one. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. We've got our wonderful proposed national animal as we see them giddy up. It looks a bit like a horse race to me, Davo, but maybe South Africa style. I wonder how Peach is feeling with us accusing the bison of being the national animal of South Africa. We go Gomadag is good afternoon, and I'm going to butcher this. Goinand is good evening. I quite like that. Totsians is goodbye. We'll save the Totsians to the end. Yeah, I think you're right. You're right.
You're playing with fire there. If you've thrown us under the bus, I will not be happy with SM in the chat with some Afrikaans coming through.
Please do not hold me to the pronunciation. As we go down the grid, we're going to look at a couple of the interesting liveries here we've got tonight. Some lovely muted colours. I'm actually quite a fan of this orange and black matte
McDowell
on the left. McDowell. To me, that's I'm going quick and I'm going places. Have a look as we go up. Got an interesting eclectic livery on the right-hand side. I forget which driver that is, but it's a really, really good-looking tessellation on the front there. Brownett, there we go.
Brownett, lovely.
No more hardware failures this week, Brownett, please.
Come on, Jack Miller in that blue and purple car.
Yeah, Davo, there's your favourite.
Got to do me proud again, mate.
The colours of Action Kart Shop. Dave's premier go-kart business.
Is that two fruit bowlers side by side? That is going to be a great start. Of course, it's Jamie Convoy in there. Starting last. Yep, well done. Well done, JC.
Got to think that's intentional.
Rashidi.
Now as we come to the
Rashidi. We're going Rashidi or Rashidi? We need some help.
Rashidi, I think we've got.
Rashidi. Hey, again, on pole and come with a tough livery this week. Love that. I
like the Martini. That should be Benny Vintner, I think, there in the Audi. I don't think there's anyone else driving that tonight. That is a gorgeous-looking car and colour scheme too. Coming up, that can only be Rondinella on the right. I don't think anyone else is brave enough to run those colours. Yep. What a man on your loopty. Oh,
car for the people on the right. Here it comes, Mr. Brown Hill.
Look at this.
Car for the family. All the kids get behind this car.
Mate, if Dora the Explorer, Peppa Pig and Bluey could put together a car livery, I reckon that's exactly what it would look like. We see the Brat Summer. Way to go, Blake.
Good on Blakey.
You
Have a great race.
Now, Dave, I can feel the tension building. Oh, actually, hang on. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm just going to pause briefly on those lime green wheels. No, other side. Thank you. Thank you, Benny. Benny's focusing in the right direction. Look at that. That is probably one of the sexiest colour schemes I think I've seen on a car in ACC. Big fan of those lime green wheels. Makes me think of the old Ford Falcons that we used to see roaming the streets. Famously, one of the only cars that actually look good in that obscure colour.
Also thinking the Legend of Two Wheels, Mr. Valentino Rossi, with the lime green as well, making it his colour. So, mate, as we head off for our warm-up lap, and I'm really excited now with how good the racing was last week. I think if we can get through that turn one chaos again, I think I'm really making sure that we're looking forward to having a quality race again. I think the field's a little bit tighter this week than maybe last week as well. And so the splits and the trains that we should see develop with the tough racing, I'm actually.
Oh, as we see a black Porsche spin around off the bat. I couldn't quite see what number that was, but those are some cold tyres, and that's a little bit too much right foot, buddy. You're going to need to do some work to catch up with the rest of the pack as we see them screaming through. Going to be able to clip through some cars here, which is good, courtesy of the ACC starting procedures. We should see that number 7, which is Jason Teo. Careful there, buddy. Thought you were back in the GT3 of Tuesday night from the Academy Series, perhaps. I'm glad he sorted that one out.
Yep, fell for the no warm tyres curse right there.
No TC. Why? He's straddling the curves. I'm sure the engineer's in his ear yelling, watch those tyres, stay off the curbs. Those ice blue tyres. The cars seem some weaving from Miller. Looks good on the stream. Thanks so much, mate. Increases my immersion, that's for sure.
Mate, I think we're looking to see some really tough overtakes. You know, there's only a 2 or 3, let's say, low risk overtaking positions on this track. And I'm expecting to see when the Porsche Cup cars come through to the GT4s, the other 2 or 3 higher risk maneuvers may be taken. It's whether or not the GT4 cars can either evade the Porsche Cup cars flying through at the time, or that they can get through safely.
Completely agree. I think it's those big high-speed corners like Crowthorne, possibly Clubhouse Bend as well, which is a really risky overtake, but you can get it done, as well as up Lou Kopp up the top there. And I know Ingwer, that last turn, that last left-hander could be a very interesting and dangerous and daring overtake spot as well. As we start to formulate a bit of a grid here, we're seeing, I believe that's Teo just lagging behind. Hopefully they're closing up the gaps there, folks. We get closer and closer to the line. We're going to take you through race start in just a few seconds. Everybody sit down, buckle up. If you've got a beer or a glass of wine, crack it, have a sip, have a swirl. Get ready for an interesting night of racing. If not, if you're just on the waters, then enjoy those just as much as we sit here on a cold night, cold winter's night, but we're enjoying some South African racing. We come up to the starting line as we see them getting ready to cross. We're waiting for that green flag. We're about to get it. Watch those lights. It's a later start here. Green, 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 and we are going into the first turn here. We've just gone up through the kink. We've got a really tightly packed field here in the Porsche Cup. We're going to get some of those cars going 2, if not 3 wide there. We're seeing some really clean racing. This is excellent work from everybody that are in the cars. Maybe a little bit of rubbing, maybe a little bit of paint swapping, but we've stayed together as we come up now through Barbecue onto the straight into Sunset. This is one of the best right-handers in motorsport racing, in my opinion. We have a really off-camber, hard, fast right-hander as we see the Porsche Cup cars flying around. No issues up there. No issues at all from Lucas Keys as he tucks in behind. I think that's Patrick Johnson there, maybe in the fruit bowl car. No, sorry. That is Bartolotti. Well done, holding off the bat there. Dave, what are we seeing back in the GT4s as they come up here?
Start, and I think there's only one green card stuck at the back, so I think the Porsche maybe went into the pits off the actual start. So I'm not sure if anyone saw that, but lovely clean start there in the GT4s, and we're just making sure we get this race underway, and we've got Loopty hard on behind Benny V at the moment. So mate, again, lovely clean start, and I'm loving the fact that we don't have a Lucas Keys in P1. Someone's throwing the nose in there and making sure that this is not just a simple walk away from the start. So I think we're all kind of cheering for that a little bit. Love it.
Let's go, Patrick Johnson, Paddy Johnson. See if you can hold this out. And car number 58 up the front there. We're actually watching Teo as well in second place, holding that nice and high. We've got some interesting leaderboard stuff going on, but that should normalise at the end of this lap. We'll get you a bit of an updated scoreboard in just a sec as we watch our man Graham Hill. Lovely as he sits there. We've got a fastest lap already, but obviously it's just off the bat, so it doesn't matter yet. We're not really racing until this lap when we start to space out. Dave, there's your man in the beautiful blue and purple / hot pink livery coming into turn 1. We've also got Dylan McDowell in that gorgeous matte orange Porsche.
There's been some fast starters. I think Dylan might have started P6, I think, in Porsche Cups, and Mr. Graham Hills started P6, and they're both up multiple spaces in the first opening lap. So they've taken either advantage of, maybe a little bit of close racing, but I think, a couple of people have started really strongly here, and they'll be looking forward to going forward. I know Zach Jensen's probably dropped a couple of spots in the GT4s. He's probably sitting around 6th or 7th at the moment. But, mate, look at this, just sliding. Yep, another Porsche car sliding through, and Jack Miller's got a great run. No, this is one of those risky overtakes, and it's not really the spot to do it. And wonder if he can keep nice and close to Bechtold to actually pass at the top of the hill. And does he have a bit of a run? No, I don't think he's got a bit of a run. He's going to have to take a big dive bomb, but the fruit bowl car's close behind as well with the battle behind.
We see Nick Brown chasing close behind, trying to get that toe all the way down the hill. one of the most terrifying right-handers that I've come across, particularly when you have a toe down here. You've got to brake so much earlier and really keep that speed into the turn. Super hard to do, but as we know, these guys are absolute experts and really don't struggle. Look at them go through, as we've got Begtold, Miller, Brown and Convoy all in a really close procession, with Muller and James only just behind him. Muller and Nate James holding some great track position there as well. What a man.
Just every week seems to get better and better with Mr. Nate James. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he's putting some time in behind the wheel. So, yes, keeping a little bit closer to the back end of that Porsche Cup field. So, really well done by Mr. Nate James. But going through the GT4s, Risciuti, Vintner, Rondinella, Ropey, Hill, Jensen. But just so close. I think they're probably all within a couple of seconds of each other in the front end of the GT4 field. As our race is starting to stretch out a little bit more, and we're starting to settle into some pace. I know these guys probably haven't done a great deal of practice other than probably the hour before the race. So I'm interested to see, who kind of clicked early and who's going to then actually, set their race paces a little bit better as they get a bit more familiar with their car and their tyres come through.
Agreed. It absolutely won't surprise me if we see some real underdogs actually take up some track position here tonight. We're on the wing of Graham Hill with the big Thermaltake spoiler there. Thank you so much, Thermaltake, for your sponsorship this season across the GT3 series into the endurance events, and also everything from sprint series to the fun series that we're in now, the GT4 and Porsche Cup. What an awesome group to really get behind sim racing, and they're giving away some prizes as well, so stay tuned for all of your sim races. I believe there's a Thermaltake mouse, which looks pretty damn good going out with each race.
It's drawn last night, so make sure if you haven't got your entry into any of the sprint series this year, and you are eligible, make sure you get onto Octane Online Racing and join up and get your name in the draw to win a lovely mouse, I think every single week as well. So thank you for that. Lucas Keys gaining on Johnston here. Wonder if it's going to be a bit of a dive bomb into turn one.
He's holding back. That's well played. He's just going to try and coast through here, really focus on the exit. This corner, you can sacrifice a lot of speed into this that left-hander, to get the maximum boost through the right-hander there. As we come up into Barbecue Bend there, that strong left-hander right up into Sunset. This has to be, I was really struggling with this turn in the GT3, trying to get it to tip in. It must be terrifying in these 0 TC Porsche Cup cars, but look at them as they ride that slip angle really nicely, just flirting with the track limits there, really holding it together. This left-hander is super important to really focus on your exit speed as we go down into the S's, and watch Lucas Keys go on a 4-wheel slide there, a bit of a waggle. So we come over and we straddle that left-handed curb up into the big hairpin up the top of the hill, Lukop. This is a really interesting area for Lucas Keys to start to poke and show the nose as he looks to just poke his nose down the outside. Oh, it wouldn't be a Lucas Keys livery if we didn't have some extreme random photo on top. I really can't see what that is from here, but I'm not sure if I want to.
Based off his endurance livery he had solder. Let's just let that one go through to the keeper. But going back to what your remarks were even before the race, it's a little bit tricky to pass here. So it's really just making sure you hit your marks, make sure you get really nice, clean effort exits. Shout out to the Star Trek. Is it what are they?
No, that's
Fergus
the Mock series. Yeah.
Oh, Mock. The guy that eats the guy that eats cactuses and stuff. That's fantastic.
Series, isn't it?
But no, back to the racing. Yeah, I think as long as you just keep getting great exits, exactly what you said. Just keep driving it straight, hit your marks. It is really difficult. You need to make sure you have a lot of overspeed to make sure you can make a clean overtake. And that's probably what we're looking for more than anything. I think off the split series that we had last night with the multiple incidents. I think Mr. Glenn might have gone into a few of these guys' ears saying, hey, let's clean this racing up and see if we can get through and be a bit nicer on the stewards tonight.
Absolutely. We're seeing a really tight little pack here. We've got Rondinella, a.k.a. to many as Loopty. Rondinella is closely followed by Graham Hill and Zach Jensen showing the nose down the inside there of the Ginetta. My goodness, poking a bit of nose out there, showing some speed, but Graham Hill holds it on so far. Graham's got the better line on the outside, but if we see here, Zach Jensen is along the inside, axle to axle, which means that he has the right to the corner. A new rule that we're obeying, and it has been outlined in the OOR rule set. So we see he'll just have to concede there and tuck in behind, but he's going to get a lot of drive and a lot of draft coming up in this hill section.
I think what you just mentioned there with the overlap of the car at turn-in has definitely caused a few ruffled feathers. You know, I saw a couple of overtakes last night that maybe people weren't quite aware of the new rule, and so they were turning in and actually getting contact and then being turned, but actually they were getting penalised because of it. So it's interesting as this, you know, these series kind of develop over the next kind of 5 weeks, whether or not some different tactics might come into this into our racing.
Absolutely, as we see our man from Academy, Jason Teo, really holding it tight in there. He's just been shown the nose by Jay Miller. Your man there. We've got a bit of a penalty for Udanto as well. 15-second penalty for a collision on lap 1. We didn't quite see that before, but I think that's the first collision we've had. It's been some really clean racing up until now. Everyone out there should be quite tickled pink with themselves as we see a bit of tail wagging as well there. Jason Teo currently holding on to 6th. He's dropped a few positions off the start. Dave, you've got to think that, he's definitely got the pace, but you'd be feeling the pressure with some of the fastest drivers in OOR and no doubt the Asia Pacific around you in every direction. We see Lucas Keys just
I'm actually not sure if Teo got back to his position off the start. I saw him trying to make his way back through, but I think he might have just lined up a little bit further down the field. So we'll have to go back and see if that was actually what happened. But these guys just driving away. 5-second gap to Thermaltake already. So I think these guys are just on a little bit another level tonight. And I know Johnston was maybe not upset with his performance last week, but he showed a lot of pace early on in qualifying. But I don't know whether or not just fell off later in the race. But you know, I saw that he had the pace to take it to Keys in these Porsche Cup cars. And I think tonight, out to make a bit of a statement.
Absolutely. So these Porsche Cup cars battling. One gap I'm particularly interested to keep an eye on. As we've just been chatting, Jamie Conboy has already dialed it back to, I think it was 1.2 seconds. It's now gone to 0.9. Dave's and my favourite game that we played last week was, where the hell do you think JC will finish? Tonight, Dave, can we get some early bets in for those early margin lovers? What's the under or over on our man JC up there tonight, sitting in currently 8th place?
I'm going to say, is JC going to make a podium? Wild call already, but the field is quite compacted from 3rd on backwards, and I think that might be playing into his favour a little bit. So, yeah, we need chat to get involved. Is he going to make a podium or not? Is it going to be 3rd or better, or 4th or worse? So, get your votes in now in chat, because I think it could be quite close with how tight these gaps are already, and still 33 minutes remaining.
For sure, mate. I think I'm putting the under over at position 4 there. So essentially, you're either wagering for JC to have a podium or just miss out. He's got 2 amateur drivers in front of him, so I think he's got a really good chance between Miller and Teo there. I'm not sure that Miller's amateur, but Teo definitely is. So we start to see some moves and overtakes there. We're going neck and neck down the hill here. Lucas Keys managing the inside, and then also sending Patrick Johnson just wide there, giving him absolutely no room to work with as we come into that really tight right-hander of the Crocodiles. We're about to go through Cheetah Bend as well. Watch that big yellow sausage. Dave, we raced at sunset the other day, and that sausage was absolutely terrifying. Normally, I'm happy to see, I'm going to say the edible type of sausage before anyone in chat can call me out for that. But yeah, mate, that big yellow hump is absolutely terrifying at the sunrise on this track when the sun shines directly over it, and you can't see anything as you go sailing through that fast right-hander.
So I was lucky enough to follow you late into that race, and I definitely made sure I stayed well clear of it, because whether or not you're gonna hit it or not, I made sure I was going to be wider. So if you missed it, I missed it by even more. So I think the tactic late on that race was a bit of survival, but early on, some contact with Jason Teo and Conboy, and he well held by with JC right there. But Jason Teo in the background, currently facing the wrong way. Whether or not, he's back rolling again. But as Rondinella absolutely sends that yellow sausage curve that we were talking about right before this, and Hill takes advantage of it again.
It's got to be said, I think last week Rondinella spent more time off track than on. I think a good quizzical that we could look up to is whether or not he actually had more than 5 valid laps across the entire race. We're going to see a bit of a replay here. We've got Miller coming up the inside, Teo just to the right of him. We've got the car of JC, and I don't know, I think that might be Brown up behind them. But we've got some contact there from, it might be JC's car. JC handles it. Teo's there holding the brakes. Good boy. Well handled. Someone is forced to straddle that sausage curb as well to keep alive.
I think just maybe made contact with that inside curb, and I think that really just sent him out into JC's way. So a little bit unfortunate there for Teo just to get kind of spun around, but that side-to-side contact and just did not let it go forward. But coming back on to last week, I think these three have found each other again. We have Zach Jensen, Graham Hill, and Loopty all within a handkerchief again. So these guys just love racing each other week in, week out.
Speaking of handkerchief, mate, I'm going to have to put one up over my eyes if Loopty keeps running off the track like that. Keep it on the track, Jaden. We need you on the black stuff, mate.
Mate, as this race goes on, as like it did last week, the sideways actions gets more and more dramatic as the laps go on.
We're sitting in Tanner's car behind the beloved Blake Griffiths. They are commentary regular up here and actually run the entire thing. So massive shout out to Blake for all she does in the work here at OOR. She puts everything together and makes sure it can be consumed for your viewing pleasure. So we see the Brat car, Brad Summer over in South Africa, just nicely holding off Tanner there as they're catching up, keeping up to Rick Lean as well in the 777 Janetta. Got to be a scary car to drive around here as well. No TC, no ABS, I believe. Quite a spooky car to actually go and lap in, but can be quite fast if you tame the beast.
The gaps between the GT4 cars are bigger than the Porsche Cup cars, which is a bit crazy this week. Last week we had a bit of a role reversal where the GT4s are much closer and the Porsche Cup cars are a lot further away, but I'm loving this Porsche Cup cars this tonight. They're putting on an absolute show for us.
Absolutely. A bit of an update as well. JC still sitting in 8th there, 1.7 seconds behind Nick Brownett, who this week with touch every bit of wood everywhere. His hardware seems to be absolutely fine. Love to see it. Hope he's got those issues sorted. Nothing worse than having a hardware issue as we see some squirting right from Dylan. Watch that back end, mate. It's so slippery out there, particularly in these Porsche Cup cars. That's terrifying.
And still kept it pinned and didn't lose a position. We love that.
We absolutely love that. The car 213, Dylan McDowell. Well done, mate. The Porsche guys. So he's used to it in theory, you'd think, but as we see Batehold start to show the nose up there from behind, he's got the pace to get through. It's only really if McDowell makes a mistake will he actually find the room to get around, as I've just done the commentator's curse. Put him out there 2 wheels, if not 3, on the grass.
McDowell's put a bit of a messy lap down right now. Maybe there's a bit of grass on the tyres, but the lawnmower needs to be put away and the race car needs to come back out because he was all over the back of Kyalami before. So I'm sure that that podium's kind of begging, and that's what he's really pushing hard for.
Absolutely, mate. Jim's Mowing has enough little franchises running around. We do not need a Porsche running around there carrying one of those trailers. Please keep it on the track.
Mate, that would be a wild sight. Jim's Mowing with a Porsche towing it.
Maybe in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. I'm sure someone's done it before. If I can pull the mickey out of them, rather take the mickey out of them.
A little bit wide there by Blake, and up the inside.
Goodness, Blake, watch your doors.
And that move is nicely done. So Lucas Keys moving through the GT4 field currently. We have nice space left for, and poor old Patrick Johnson just left in the dust. With GT4 cars only letting one car through at a time, and he's just lost probably over 2 seconds. There it is. Yep. Just lost over 2 seconds. Poor bloke.
10 laps into this race is when we've had that catch up. Way quicker than what I actually initially thought. I was banking on 12 to 15, but here we are. They've done it again. Move and go as we come into this really hard braking zone into that left-hander Crowthorne. As we see a bit of a slippery back end there. Baketold goes up the inside now around the outside, and the white Porsche as we're battling McDowell in my favourite, the black and orange matte Porsche. Manages to hold it with quite impressive. So relatively clean racing early on here, mate. I'm quite pleased with that, given how my heart rate went up the other night watching the sprint series. So we're just seeing another Porsche Cup car go sailing up the inside here of some GT4s. It's funny watching the pace difference here into those turns. Obviously the Porsche Cup car off the throttle there, but the GT4 almost seems to pull away from them in that mid-corner grip area. It just seems that they have so much downforce in comparison to the Porsche Cup car. They can really actually hold it down. We're now watching Zach Jensen on board tailing this BMW GT4 of Ralpy. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Getting pretty close to each other. Zach Jensen 0.38 behind. Seems to be all over, and we've got to remember this Ginetta has absolutely no ABS, no TC. Hangs on the back end of it there, but really if you work that car hard, you can get so much speed out of it, as we watch a bit of a slide there from Ralphie's BMW.
And he's also been doing some very fast laps. I think he was more than 2 or 3 seconds behind Ralphie when he was kind of got past Hill. So he's doing some really fast laps. I wonder if he can actually kind of put some few more laps together and actually get on the back of Benny V as well.
Yeah, for sure. We've got there's an incident up the track. I believe it's coming up to your view in just a couple of seconds. I've been watching it. No, it could be a replay. We've just missed it, but we'll see that up in a few seconds. I've got everything going on everywhere. There's so much happening, Davo, on other parts of the track. I wish we could be everywhere at once. We're going to look at this replay now. We see a GT4 Porsche on the left-hand side, coming up the inside and just clips, spins, but the Porsche Cup car managed to hold it. I'm terrified for what happens next. Jay Miller goes around the outside, and no, Brownett finds his friendly there. No, keep it in the family love. No, don't spin around. Hold on.
The big brother was not happy with the little brother right there, and poor Mr. JC got caught in it as well.
I would absolutely hate to be at that dinner table later on this evening.
If you took the over at 4, you're looking pretty good right now.
Here we are, JC up in 7th behind Miller there as well now. 4-second gap between the two of them for those keeping tabs on your bets at home. Benny Vintner, someone that I'm really keen to watch tonight. He's a super fast, super clean racer. Didn't have the best of luck last night in the sprints, but in that Audi, an unusual car for him. But tell you what, the Audi GT4 actually quite tickles my fancy. Saxon, you can get me on record at saying that as well. Benny Vintner.
Saxon A's another GT3 Audi driver. Absolutely. And actually went really well last night. Actually finished in a lovely P2, chasing down and only was about half a second off the win last night in the first race. In the first split last night. So well done to Mr. Saxon Hayes.
Sure, we're seeing Dylan McDowell poke the nose down the inside of another friendly Porsche Cup car as he goes and owns the inside of that track there. Dave, let's talk about that new OOR rule come in this season, the axle to axle into a turn. I think it's such a clean and clear-cut way to actually differentiate between when an overtaking opportunity is on to get alongside into a turn and when it's not. Can you talk to us about how that differs in real-life racing? Maybe it's the same. Where do we sit out there on the real tracks?
I think that's probably what the stewards were trying to come more in line with. We're all kind of seeing the GT3 racing, the endurance racing series. Marshy with a 10-second penalty causing collision. That must have been at the top of the hill there. But just coming more in line and actually giving the stewards a bit more of a clear-cut definition on what they're trying to rule upon. I think that's all us as racers, even sim racers are probably always looking for is just maybe a bit more of a clear-cut definition, and the overlap at turn-in gives us a nice, clear understanding of where we need to position our cars and whether or not we actually need to give racing room at certain points in time. So, I think it's exactly the same in real racing. Some have the B pillar, some have the rear axle, but making sure there's a nice clear-cut rule. I think as racers, that's all we really want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone's still in a learning phase at the moment. It does feel vastly different. We're going to see a bit of a replay here. This looks like it could be
Zach Jensen.
Zach Jensen coming up behind the BMW GT4. As we see, oh my goodness, that is a pogo and a half.
That's a big booty. I can't say the next word, but that was lovely bouncing, the booty bouncing from the BMW.
Keep it PG on the stream there for us, Dave. We can't have too much imagery going around here. I'm sure there's kids on the stream somewhere. Dave's keeping it PC for all your family-friendly events out there.
Anyone got a gift maker? Send me that later.
Yeah, actually,
that's going to go around well. Yeah,
I'll take that. If we can get an OOR,
yep.
If we can get an OOR emoji that comes up of that BMW GT4 behind bouncing down the straight there into that final turn, I'll pay good money for it. Good money being maximum $1.20. I think that's...
And here it is in front of us again with Lucas Keys coming faster again. So yeah.
What's the bouncy rear end there, Lucas?
So look, we're currently just gone over halfway in our race tonight. So McDowell, probably driver of the night so far, qualified I think P6 up to P3. Doing such a good job tonight compared to last week. I think, as I said, didn't have the greatest week last week. Who else you got your eyes on in either Porsche Cup or GT4 that you might be thinking of doing a really good job?
Look,
see Jack Miller go wide.
Absolutely, as he goes sailing out there, careering onto the grass. Yeah, I've actually got my eyes on our man Miller, mate. Your favourite car, the beautiful blue and purple Porsche up the front there. I think Miller has a good chance. He seems to be, I've just been sort of tracking it out of the corner of my eye, seems to be just gaining on Beitold there. If he can hold it together and pull in tight, I think he can get right up the clacker of Beitold and perhaps look for an overtake opportunity there. He definitely appears to have the pace. But again, I'm a heavily biased man. I know we've got some JC fans out there in the crowd. We've actually got Convoy gaining at almost 0.4 a lap at the moment as well. But look, mate, in terms of the GT4s, I'm actually quite interested to see whether or not Benny Vintner can hold on to his spot. He's chasing down Ricciuti, but seems to have lost almost 0.6, 0.7 over the last sort of 3-4 laps. If he can, sorry, Benny, I'm making you jump around here a fair bit. But Benny Vintner from Team Sofa King Slow, I'm going to make sure I enunciate that correctly. He's got a long way to go. He's got to push hard to catch up there to Ricciuti, but I think there's a good battle that can be had there. It just seems Ricciuti is driving so well. We got some contenders tonight, mate. We'll be doing a bit of a Thermaltake driver of the session, hard charger even for the number of overtakes. So it'll be good to keep an eye on that. But in chat, who are your drivers that you've got your eyes on so far that have been doing well so far this session?
I know, Richard's getting well out of the way. It's nice to have our two leaders on the screen at the same time right there. Nice to have a bit of a chat to them, but I think he made sure it was so safe that he might have even lost a bit too much time. But yeah, with 4-second lead, I think it's so safe to do so. Yeah, we've got Little Jimmy going to go through loop right here, whether or not he can give him safe spots on understand a little bit. He's off the track. Blue flags, yeah, another one. Oh my god, where are you
going? Anyone in the chat knows JJ on another live. I'd like to know how many speeding tickets you've got, how many days you're driving tickets you've got, perhaps that awful car. He kept driving on the off-road grass. My goodness, you must look at many different doing this jumps, mate. Thank you.
But I think the action started as to wear off. The confidence is an all-time high, and these pressure situations start to boil over a little bit more. So same as last week, these last 18 minutes are starting to shape up quite nicely.
Absolutely. We're seeing there's actually a pretty close gap, a little bit down the leaderboard there. We've got Rick Lean coming up on our favourite Blake there. Can we get a look at that whenever you get the chance as well? It seems like Lean's only half a second behind. Could be coming up, seems to be holding that position quite nicely in the Ginetta there. Yeah, it's actually half a second looks a lot closer when you have a peek at those GT4s. I'll tell you what, Rick Lean in his favourite 777 seems to be holding Blake there pretty closely. Blake's got to be under a bit of pressure.
I was going to say, Rick actually did a really good job on Tuesday night in the Academy Series. I'm not quite sure where he finished, but was actually holding some really good pace all night. And I was trying to, as you go down the main straight, you try and, peg a car to make sure you see if you're gaining or losing on him. And I wasn't really gaining too much in the overall scheme of things. Was doing some quality laps as we get third and fourth, and now Jack Miller taking advantage of it into the last turn as well. And here's our overlap. That's what we're talking about.
Cow, you cannot go too wide into Cheetah. That is a ridiculous show of force from Jack Miller there, pushing up through the class. 2 cars he's overtaken there to go and show his nose. They're going to have to go inside on this GT4 here of Graham Hill. We're going to be 3 wide here, two sets of 2. There's a song about ants and 2x2 as we go marching down. Hurrah, hurrah. Up here, they skirt around Graham Hill nice and comfortably there. We've seen this settle, but that's almost a complete reversal from how we finished the last lap. Miller's gone up the front. We've got Thermaltake and Batold now at in between the 2, sorry.
I don't know what the opposite of a commentator's curse is, but you've just blessed Jack Miller right there. He's currently, when we're talking about it, was a couple of seconds behind these 2, and in 2 corners has gone through them and now is a second in front of him. So I think he might be giving you some PayPal dollars later on tonight.
And I will take him. I'm not above being bought. Everybody knows that. As we get some updates here coming through GT4 class, we've got Ricciuti now with Vintner only 2 seconds behind him. He's caught up more than 2 seconds since we last checked in. And Zach Jensen has actually gotten around Robbie there. So how good is that? We've got Robbie now 0.4 behind Jensen. Jensen 0.3 behind Vintner, and Vintner only 2 seconds now off the lead. As we see a Porsche Cup car. Who is that going off the right-hand side? My goodness, Batold. Stick it in the middle there. Jack Miller's now got a hell of a run through and out of there. He's clear. What a way to take, what's that? 2 positions and a GT4 in the 1 lap. And now, as we watch 2 Porsche Cup cars stuck behind the GT4 there onto the straight, they're going to make a big and wide move around here.
Give Zach plenty of space. I like that from everyone. My driver of the week from last week. So yeah, let's give him lots of space because he's on a bit of a charge as well, trying to catch up to Benny V. And I love that the GT4 field seems to be closing up at the front. I love seeing that those types of things are happening because it makes it a lot more interesting as these last 14 minutes wind down.
Yeah, for sure. It's really interesting watching all the cars go through Crowthorne there. That first left-hander, that sharp left-hander. We've got some of the GT4s actually faster on exit as we see a Porsche bouncing, putting 2 wheels on the grass there behind us. All coming up the outside of Benny Vintner in the GT4, who cleverly holds his line. Going to let the Porsche Cup car find a way around him rather than the other way around. Benny Vintner says, this is my track and you are going to have to work for your position.
I think the GT4s would much rather see like the Lucas Keys and Johnson and McDowell come through 1 by 1. I think it doesn't really hurt them so much, but when they've got 2 Porsche Cup cars coming through, like Stefano right there, just lost out massively, and Benny V up the inside. This is the lead of GT4 right now coming down the hill.
Oh my goodness, they're going neck and neck into this really hard right-hand turn, the Crocodiles. Benny Vintner pulls in front, slams on the brakes hard, goes in, dives to find that apex, catches it a little bit wide, but he's going to pull it in well, holds on to the ribbing there on the outside, manages to hit Cheetah curve as he takes the yellow there. We're going to be talking to him about that later on tonight. I think that's a heartful at the arse moment as he safely navigates back onto the main straight, having just now taken first place, all through the watchful eyes of Zach Jensen. We now have a really, really tight battle for the lead here in the GT4, Dave. This is going to get exciting with 13 and a half minutes to go.
Top 3 GT4, all under 1.5 seconds. This is absolutely fantastic as Zach gives it a bit of a mind punt into turn 1. But that's exactly what I was talking about. Before we saw Stefano let Lucas Keys go by and was very safe. Lost a lot of time, and we saw it at the top of the hill right there. And not only do you lose time, but he also lost his position and track position to Benny Vintner. So sometimes it's you've got to kind of get your nose to the ground and go, look, guys, I'm still in the lead of my race, and might have to make sure that the Porsche Cup cars just might have to stay behind for that 1 extra turn to keep your position.
Absolutely. You've still got 3 turns to let a blue flag through under OOR rules. So you can actually just hold your racing line and let them through when safe. There's a lot of straights here at our wonderful track Kyalami tonight. So there is plenty of room to let those GT3, the Porsche Cup cars around you when it is safe to do so. As we see, look at this, Benny Vintner throwing it up there, up the top of the track in Lukop. Holding it together. That gap seems to be sticking pretty consistently as we watch an interesting line there from Stefan Raschuti going there, straddling that left-hand side curb. Not the most common line, but maybe he's looking for a bit of a mind punt, throwing a dummy. The Saxon Hayes dummy, as I'll call that, one of our sprint drivers that's been pestering in our ear of the Academy Series, teaching us a few things about how to really muck up people with just your mind and no pace at all, which is exactly what we do in the Academy. We see Benny also taking some interesting lines there. Vintner, don't lose it all now, mate. You haven't been driving like Loopty so far. We want to keep the Rondinella out and keep on the track.
Actually, what was a really point that Mr. Hobbsy said through the week, after Coda, this is probably the second hardest track in terms of track cuts. The track limits are very, very, very close to the outside of the circuit here, and so with a lot of these track excursions, may we say, or Zach Jensen trying to get up the inside as well, that whether or not how many track cuts they're sitting on, because I know that some DTs were thrown out in the Academy Series, and that was only a 60-minute race. Yes, it might be a little bit longer, but the quality of driving was a little bit less. But these guys are pushing the limits every single lap. I'd be very interested to see if anyone gets a DT in our little 45-minute race here.
Absolutely, as we see less than a second between first, second and third place here. Zach Jensen's just going to start to show the nose on the inside. I haven't driven with Zach a heap, but I have watched him race around a bunch of cars in his same class, and what he tends to do is he tends to just poke his nose in, try and find those gaps and really just start to play in the mind of those in front of him, almost living there rent-free. As we see I believe that's a Porsche Cup car coming up behind the lead pack here. They're going to have to find, I think that's Teo, he's going to have to find a way around this group here. It's going to be quite interesting. He's going to have to do it on the straight. Pulls in, gets a nice little toe. But you don't want to interrupt here as he almost forces them to go too wide down here into the crocodiles. And watch him there, he just holds on. It's some clever racecraft from...
Oh, no.
Goodness gracious, Stefano's actually just led him through. Almost lets Jensen through as well. But
race for your position, mate. You've got to race a little harder than that. We want to see a bit more elbows out. We've got to make sure it's really kind of ruining his race tonight, that these blue flags are really making sure that the other two are kind of either getting an advantage, as we've just seen that, over in a second advantage right now between Benny Vintner and Raschuti. So I think we've just got to get the elbows out a little bit more, Stefano, next week. Let's try and work on that, eh?
And that is absolutely why we love multi-class racing, mate. I had a chat with my dad over the weekend, who watched many a race at Bathurst, and he always talks about how, the modern day races are great, and it's good to see the cars, and they're so closely matched, and the sound and the pure adrenaline of the whole thing. But what it doesn't compare to is what Bathurst used to be, and the original variants of multi-class racing, which is essentially cars that are vastly different in their pace, their ability, and their downforce and their ability to just throw it into corners. And it produces some really exciting, if not a little bit dangerous, conditions and racing out on the tracks there, which is exactly what we get to see here on your Thursday night here. We've got 8 minutes, 45 seconds left in this multi-class race. We have 1.2 seconds between first and third in the GT4 Cup cars. We've got a little bit more in the Porsche Cup cars. We've got Lucas Keys sailing away. Patrick Johnson sitting at probably about half or 3/4 of a lap behind. No, 10 seconds, he's still actually keeping it quite tight in there. Dylan McDowell not too far behind. Miller, Therclini, Bagtold, Convoy, Teo, Muller, James. And then we head into Benny Vintner leading the GT4 cars.
And only 2 seconds for Rorpy as well to try and to make it a 4-car battle for the lead. So as we go back to the Porsche Cup cars, we've got Therclini in currently 5th now, with Bechtold still behind. These two, again, just attached to the hip. I think if Bechtold didn't have his first or second lap incident at Donington, he would have been exactly the same position he was last week as he is this week. But Therclini just doing a good job. Again, tough to overtake if you just keep hitting your marks, making no mistakes, and driving around in a conservative manner. But Stefano with a huge run on Benny V. And that's a very defensive line for Mr. Benjamin Vincenter.
Oh, if there are any academy drivers on the stream, perhaps there's some kids at home looking to race in either sim or real racing, pull out your notepad and start to take notes. We're watching some really fantastic aggressive driving, but also some top class defensive driving there from Benny Vintner, as we see Zach Jensen pushing up the outside into that long sweeping right-hander of Sunset. This is going to get tight. He pulls away, backs away just as they go up into Clubhouse Bend. Zach Jensen's just going to poke the nose in there, but he hasn't got enough overspeed to conduct an overtake there. It's a horrific spot to try and overtake as well. As they go down into the S's, Benny Vintner should have this nice and tight on the brakes, hit that left-hand curve to try and open up that right-hander as much as he can. Ideally, you want to be full throttle here, but you don't want to run wide. I think, Dave, that's your kryptonite there, is running wide on that, just after that right-hander there.
Yeah, mate, when I was catching you late in the race on Tuesday night, and you were just so lightning through those the left and right-hander coming up the hill, and I just had absolutely no opportunity to pass you. So I think every single lap you were at least 2 to 3 tenths faster than me, and yes, that was quite frustrating. And just as Benny Vintner did exactly the same to Stefano right there, just drove away and really took away one solid passing opportunity, and you find yourself working for the entire lap just to catch up those 2 or 3 tenths again. But as we come into 6 minutes to go, yes, the Rorpy just gaining every single lap as these three are fighting in front. I'm loving the fact there's going to be a 4-man fight for the lead in the GT4s. That has a nice way to roll off the tongue. But at the top of the board, we've got Lucas Keys, Patrick Johnson with McDowell in third, which kind of seems to be cemented unless a big mistake happens. Miller, and we've got Thircolini now only 1.3 behind, so even that gap's yo-yoing a little bit as we get closer and closer towards the end. And I think Mr. JC might be a little bit stuck with that contact, and it might only just be able to finish 7th tonight after starting just outside the top 10.
Still a good hard charger performance there as we watch Ricciuti just sticking his nose up the inside. We're not quite axle to axle, but Benny Vintner giving him just enough room to race there. That's quite tasteful from the man in front as he gets the better run here on the inside. They are going to go neck and neck, though, coming up into the S's. Oh, no room for Ricciuti. There as Zach Jensen takes advantage of the little mishap between the two. Dives up the inside. Ricciuti's not going to be happy about that. I think there'll be some arms waving and flailing from the inside of the cockpit of Ricciuti there. My goodness.
That's the difference between racecraft and pure speed right there. I think Stefano, if he could get out in some clear air, would probably almost drive away from these two, but these guys in front just able to get their elbows out a little bit more and take advantage of that racecraft and race knowledge that they've got, and seem to just keep making the right decisions when they need to. And come on, Graham Hill is in the background as well, probably only 4 or 5 seconds behind.
The Wee Bear Bears, one of our favourite liveries, currently sitting in, I believe that's 5th place now, up the back there. This is going to get really, really tight. The crazy thing is, I wonder if Benny gave, as we see him just hit that yellow sausage, but keep it on the track. Well done, Benny. One of the most interesting things as well is that P1, Benny Vintner, and P3, Stefan Ricciuti, are actually teammates, both from the Sofa King Slow team. So maybe there's a bit of sportsmanship, a bit of friendliness going on there that Benny actually left in the room, because Ricciuti could have actually dominated that track position and probably just held and continued, or Benny could have just turned across him. We don't know what would have happened, but these two lads are being quite nice to each other, so good on you fellas. As Zach Jensen sits now, the meat in the Sofa King Slow sandwich as we come into the closing 3.5 minutes of the race.
Only probably 2.5, maybe 3 laps to go for these guys, so heart race pumping, sweating, sweat dripping off the face. It's really coming down to a high energy and let's go octane end to this absolutely fantastic GT4 race tonight.
Oh, he's got the name drop in there. He's done very well in the commentary box. Has Dave Stevenson name dropping Octane Online Racing in our own stream. This is the place where we get to flog the name. We love it here. As we see, one of the gaps that I want to call out is actually Rick Lean down there in 22nd place has held that half-second gap on our wonderful commentator Blake Griffiths. Managed to hold that gap the entire race. So good on you, Rick. Well done, mate. That's hard fought so far. Just how far can you push it with 2.5 minutes to go? So we see Jack Jensen getting the better drive.
Ooh, we've got some overlap. We've got some overlap. This is what we're talking about.
Neck and neck coming into this the Crocodiles' turns here. Benny Vintner holding and hogging that apex, saying, "You will not pass." Gandalf there.
Oh, no.
Zach Jensen goes around the outside, takes it anyway. Crisscross applesauce. Oh my goodness, Benny, what's happening?
That's
Great
fantastic.
Zach Jensen, my goodness, mate. Pat yourself on the back, but not for another 2 minutes and 15 seconds because you've still got some battles to be fought.
Mate, coming through the field, he's driven himself to the front. That's an absolute fantastic race. He's got to keep his cool for 2 more laps, and he's got everyone breathing down his neck, coming into an absolute nail-biter.
This is fantastic racing to watch. These GT4s, I think everybody agrees, some of the best racing to watch in OOR and on ACC specifically. I think Assetto Corsa Competizione rather, from the cars on offer. The BMW CS M2 offers some really great door-to-door, almost banger-level racing there. But the GT4s just have that bit of extra pace, that bit of extra downforce, allows for some really tight racing with just that still sort of door-to-door, swap and paint side of racing too. I think it's an absolutely fantastic class to watch, and the cars is just so fun to drive. Some of them are on rails, some of them are on skates. They're so cool with how different they are. They've really done a good job implementing these cars in this league here.
So yeah, we've got a bit of a yellow flag as we've had a bit of a spin out, number 7. Maybe a bit further down. It is Tio again. He's had another off that's on just at the bottom of the hill there, just before the second last turn. But we've got a little bit of a fight between Thurkalini and Bechtold, but I think whether or not this has been going on the entire race. So I have a feeling this was going to go right to the end, and whether or not they can actually catch Jack Miller in front as well or not. But I think the most important race that we're going to watch tonight is this GT4 final. A few laps is...
Benny, stop hitting the sausage!
Mate, this is what we're talking about. I think Zach Jensen, just with some pure pace, 8.5 tenths out in front just in one lap. Just if you could just hit those marks and get a couple of clean laps together, I think some of these guys could probably drive away from each other. But just how tight and this racing is, and they've really just got to keep covering off and making sure there's no mistakes.
Absolutely, and this is going to be the last lap for the GT4s. Lucas Keys is just coming down the hill now. So we're not going to have one more lap. This is all that there is. We've now got the battle on for second place as Benny almost just lets Stefano go. Almost letting Ralphie go through there as well. Benny, where's your race pace gone?
The tyres have said given up. The tyres have just said, you know what, 44 minutes is enough, 45 minutes is too long.
Ralphie is now sitting very nearly on the bumper underneath the spoiler of Benny Vintner. This is going to get super tight. We've got a battle on for second, if not just third place now. Benny Vintner desperately trying to hold on, keep the car on the track. Maybe there's something we don't know about the Audi's tyres 45 minutes into a GT4 race. So you see Ralphie straddling the curb on the left-hand side. No doubt going to get the better run up here, but Benny cleverly blocks him on the inside. Benny's going to hold and hog this apex. Gone is second place, says Benny. I'm holding on to third. I'm going to die on this hill and fall on this sword. This position is mine.
Just a quick shout out to all the Porsche Cup cars that have just passed across the line. We've got Lucas Keys, Patrick Johnson, and Dylan McDowell as the 1, 2, 3. But take it away. Let's do these last 3 corners, Matty.
Absolutely. As we see Benny Vintner just holding, he's going to come and block the inside there. We almost get some door-to-door racing. Now Benny's got to be thinking about this yellow sausage that's been living in his head rent-free. The sausage that he can't stop thinking about. It's going to live in his mind as he narrowly avoids it. Well done. Probably the best he's taken that corner in the entire night of us watching, as we see Zach Jensen start to come up screaming towards the finish line. What a man. Got to be happy with his performance tonight, as we see Stefano Ricciuti coming in second place, Benny Vintner third, Rolpe fourth. What a run. We've got Graham Hill just behind it, Bartoletti, Rondinella, who has somehow kept it on the track for the finish there, Reinhardt, Tanner, Klomp, Griffiths. Some great racing up there on the back. Dave, what a race. I'm exhausted. Whew.
Oh, mate, that was insane. To finish again, I thought, there was actually some a lot cleaner racing than last week. I thought the guys would be all the drivers would be very proud of themselves with their efforts this week. I think, we've definitely seen a lot more cleaner racing compared to Donington Park. But, mate, give us your vote for your Thermaltake driver of the night for GT4 and Porsche Cup.
Oh, mate, I've got easily one for both, and I don't think that they'll be disputed. I think my Thermaltake hard charger, the Thermaltake overtake even of the session, is Jack Miller, mate. 2 cars in 1 turn coming onto the main straight. What an absolute weapon. He's an operator. Took advantage of a situation there, and he came out on top, overtaking 2 cars in 1 turn. Well, there was a bit of confusion there. And I think from the GT4, mate, it's got to be Zach Jensen. What a surge from the back. Zach, well done. That is an absolutely class race that you've just put on there, and what a way to finish off. Those 2 drivers get my Thermaltake Driver of the Session award. Dave, how about you? Are you any different? Have you got some different opinions?
I'm going to 100% agree with you with Mr. Zach Jensen. I know I voted for him last week, but that was an absolute class performance in the GT4s. I said, yeah, again, driving probably, I think, maybe from 6th to 1st. So that was absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to differ. I'm going to go Dylan McDowell for my Porsche Cup car. He got a podium this week. Absolutely fantastic. Really class drive from him in the black and orange Porsche.
2 key shout-outs from me as well, mate. No hardware failures from Nick Brownett. What a guy. Well done, mate. I'm so glad that you managed to have no errors and sort of no mishaps this week. Well done. And then the other quick shout-out is to our Academy man himself, Rick Lean, holding onto a half-second gap there, finishing 22nd place overall. Not sure what that correlates to in the GT4s, but my goodness, what a performance. Really well held. It's a tough track to lap consistently, and you did an outstanding and class job there, mate. Well done.
Well, okay. I think that's a wrap on another electrifying round 2 here at Kyalami. A massive shout out goes to Thermaltake for their continued support of the series. Big appreciation to Octane Online Racing for putting on another stellar night of racing, and of course, hats off to all the competitors in both the Porsche Cup and GT4 series. What a show they put on tonight. I think that was, again, another highlight race. Don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. Coming up at 9 p.m. or coming up in, stay here, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes. It's Split Red at Spa-Francorchamps, with race 2 being a reverse grid of the top 20. But no, thank you so much. Again, thank you to Mr. Matt Madden, myself, David Stevenson. But yeah, definitely stick around. See Split Red. They'll be brought to you by Mr. Neil Haynes and Lindsay Muddle. So thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Thermaltake OOR Sprint Series from the one and only Spa-Franken shop in the Ardennes in Belgium. I am Sean Muller, and we are back with Split Red, and joining me is the one and only Neil Haynes. How are you, Hainesy?
I'm doing really good, thank you, Sean, and I'm very pumped to see how these two races will go tonight for Split Red. We always know they bring some excitement to end the Thursday night.
Certainly, Split Red or Split Kovacs or Split Blood or Split whatever you want to call it, always never fails to disappoint. And if last night's any indication, we should have an absolute rip sauna tonight. And of course, it is a split or super sprint round, so it is two 30-minute races with a 50% reverse grid in race 2, which always spices up the action. And of course, we are at Spa, one of the most famous circuits in the world, set just a tick over 7 kilometres, and with more famous corner names than the Bible. It is an absolute rip sauna of a track. You a fan?
I am an absolute fan here at Spa-Francorchamps. I will race this whenever there is a race, especially with OOR. And the highlight of my racing, or sim racing career, was actually when we did the 24-hour last year. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Was it last year or the year before? Whenever that.
It was the year before. It's been nearly 2 years, I think, since the 24-hour. So yeah, time flies.
That was something special, 2 times around the clock, and yeah, a lot of fun, I think, had by all. So let's see how they go with these shorter format. I'm sure the boys will go pretty good out there tonight.
As we jump on board with Carl Johnson in the Kovacs Racing Porsche as he starts his first flying lap now as he heads down into La Source. And just a great circuit. It's a real classic. Look, I'm not a fan of driving it in ACC, but in terms of its history, yeah, I'm still a fan. It's still an awesome track. And here is one of the most famous corners in the world, the fearsome Rouge and Radion. And it is just foot flat to the firewall in the old Porsche. And then you hit the proverbial wall.
Yeah, pretty much. If you don't get that line right and it sort of steps out, as we've all been in a Porsche before, it's a handful over Radion there, and you can find yourself on those armcail walls fairly quickly. But Lacombe here, the Porsches do handle quite well. They get around really good through this part of the circuit before we start going down the hill again. And just an amazing, as you said, circuit. Plenty of history.
Rivage now. And of course, there's a lot of conjecture about corner names as well as we head into a no name, or Jackie X as it actually is properly known now. Yeah, there's some corner names that people have different. Yeah, so this has always been put up. Of course, back in the old days. Oh, it's the best corner on the track by far.
It sure is. Especially when there's a little bit of moisture around as well. It can be quite a handful sometimes.
Now, this is also known as Piff Paff, but I know it as Fangna. And then down into Stavilo. Now, out of Stavilo, some people call this... Oh, nice catch there, Carl. This is Stavilo too, but I call this Paul Ferrer. So, as Carl there. So we should get an indicative. We're probably going to be looking at 17s and 16s is the Hollywood numbers we should be expecting this evening. But of course, it is Spa, so look, at the end of the day, qualifying can mean bugger all, because we've seen many incidents at lap 1 here as Carl now heads down into the bus stop.
Another corner that you can pick up a lot of time when you get that right too, through the bus stop. You just get that nice traction. There's a early 18 done by Carl Johnson, but probably a banker lap more than anything.
Salvaggio goes to the top timesheets there with the 17.5. It's actually quite a quick opening lap there from Salvaggio and the McLaren.
And Adderton back up in P2 after a good opening round as well in that Ford Mustang. So he's again close to the top of the timesheets. And all the big names are coming through with Tafiq in that Ferrari. Only a 10th behind Salvaggio.
Here is PJ.
Yeah, a bit of fruit for a Thursday night.
Yeah. And that gorgeous fruit bowl Bentley. Always in the practice lobby, setting times. Very quick in a Porsche Cup car as well, I will say. Really keen to see that. We're seeing the Bentley being relatively strong here, actually, at Spa. A couple of drivers are really, drove well in the big bad Bentley. And we'll see a time here from Johnson as he goes up to the top with a 17.2, if you don't mind. That is a very good lap.
Well done by Patrick. He's got that thing really singing around here. As we'll have a look now to see with this McLaren, if he can try and get back up the top again.
Salvaggio currently 0.3, we'll call it, up on his best time at the moment. So that would put him on pole by sweet bugger all. So he's going to have to find a little bit more time to give himself a bit of a buffer. He's lost a little bit of time there through Paul Ferrer, just ran a little bit wide. Very easy to do the McLaren, and McLaren really relies on its rear traction and aero. Now heads up towards Blanchimont. Of course, this is a flat in a GT3 car in the dry. And then you're going to look for the white line on the road and then break it nice and straight into the bus stop. Of course, clip the curb and then swing it back across the camber of the road. And look at that. That was lovely through there from Salvaggio. That's going to maybe put him back on top, does it? No, second, because Johnson now still on top of the timesheets. How close is this qualifying? But who's that? That's Brett Ellis. Brady's down with a 16.5.
The Mustang back on top again. He's not going to let this one go down easy. He wants to try and get back on the front row if he can, Adderton.
Wow, it's just gone a little bit crazy here. Bit of a happy hour, as they call it. And it looks like Johnson's here.
Pizza livery. I was just going to say, we're all old enough to remember Dougie the Pizza Man with those Pizza Hut ads, can't we?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I remember. The blonde-haired bloke.
Blonde-haired bloke, yeah. I think he used to be, I don't know, on Hey Dad as well. Might have been Nudge. I'm not too sure if it was him or one of those guys, but yeah.
Johnson just caught a bit of track there. He's back the one off. Here is Nathan Monks, aka Toto, in that absolutely gorgeous Aston. Oh, love that. Classic Aston livery with a certain addition on the back there. Oh, that's a line from the Mustang. Did you see that? That was one way to...
That's almost like an iRacing line, isn't it? Remember the dramas about 3 years about that over iRacing as well, where the drivers ran out with one drop wheel on the grass.
Here is Brady in that beautiful Pizza Hut Mustang. Pizza on a Thursday night, it's just a thing.
It sure is.
I tell you what, he's up on his lap here. We've seen the Mustang be super strong here at Spa. Even with its restrictor and everything they've tried to nerf it, it's still a mighty, mighty beast around here. As race control is hungry. I'm actually hungry myself. Yeah, pizza.
We're hungry for more to see what Adderton can do. He's always going to get this into a 2:15 if he can keep this up. He's lost a little bit of time, but look, what a solid lap this is.
We haven't seen a 15 yet. Back here with Monks. 0.7 up, so this will move him up the time. It does, up to third. Good lap. But here comes Brady. Is this going to be a 15? I might just miss out. He does a 16.1 though. Wow. And he's still got time, so the 15 is still there if he wants it. Jeez, that's fast.
He's still got a little bit left in the tyres there to see what he can do, and he's also fueled it for this one extra lap, so let's just see. We'll catch him a little bit later, but at the moment, Johnson 0.4 up.
See that? He backed it into Puon there in the big Bentley. Just sort of rode it on the brake and then on the throttle. It was lovely to watch. And he's half a second up here, so this is a very good lap here from Johnson. Currently in 7th at the moment.
Yeah, this could get him up on the second row of the to start this this race, race 1 of 2 tonight. And as he said in the opening part of the broadcast, we're obviously flipping the top 50 on a reverse grid for race 2. So it's definitely going to be a night to hang around and watch these 2 races here for the Thermaltake Sprint Series Split Red.
There's looking here, Johnson, lovely into the bus stop. You found a little bit of time there. Is he going to get the exit right? Oh, it bleeds a little bit, but it's still going to move him up. Where does it move him? Up to third. Great lap there from Johnson. So it is Addleton from Ellis, Johnson, Monks, Taufik, Beg, Salvaggio, and Rashuti are your 8 at the moment. And you just got Eng and Gobert just 9th and 10th. Looking here at Grant Begg, currently in 6th position, 0.2 up on his best lap. Currently the best lap of a 17.2. So he's trying to get into the 16s.
Yeah, he had a mixed type of result race last week as well. So he's obviously going to look for a more solid performance if he can. But I think he had some tyre troubles near the end of the race and he was struggling to hold on. I think he might have just finished in the top 10 at the end of the opening round. But we'll see what he can do here tonight. This monster McLaren slash
Monster
Mustang.
McLaren, yeah. Nice through the bus stop, all important exit. Lose a little bit of time, but it should get him into the 16s. It does, 16.9. Good lap there from Begg. Back here with Salvaggio. So he's going to get one more crack at this.
So
he's going to clutch lap.
Setup. Yep, so let's see if he can try and get that 1 second that he's after to see if he can get back on top again.
It's interesting at Spa as well. La Source really does set up your lap. You know, if you just get that right, you can just make time all the way up here. Whoa, that is as close as you want to get there.
Yeah, it's very, very close indeed, but he's lucky to hold on to this one with the track limit, so let's see how he can finish off this lap. This is going to be brilliant to see where he might end up.
Racing nice and deep now. Clips both apexes, super important. Don't ride too much curb because it can unsettle the rear. Now the flick. Lovely through there. Oh, a little bit taily on the exit. Now down in the Stabilo. Really important, just let the car run a little bit wide, then let the nose come back in. Lovely there from Begg. Just keeping an eye as well on Addleton here. I'm on 15 watch. It's very close. Now it's P1's.
Yeah.
Look, ooh, lovely.
I think Addleton's not going to better his lap time that he's had already, but he's just on the verge of the same time that he's posted. This is the man at the moment. Salvaggio, see if he can just climb up a little bit further, see if he can pip Rashuti.
Well, if you can find... Oh, here we go. So, yeah, if you can find the 0.3, 0.4, it's definitely going to move him up the board. Can he find something at the bus stop? You can make a lot of time at the bus stops. He heads it down now towards Blanchimont. McLaren just looks so great through here. Look at that. So absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
Now, big late break into the bus stop. How deep does he want to go? Can he clip it across and nail this exit? Oh, it's very close. It's definitely going to move him up the leaderboard, maybe up to 6th position, maybe 7th. No, 8th. There you go. Is Taufik going in 6th position at the moment? Looks like he's going to remain there. And he does. A bit disappointed we didn't see the Bison livery. Not going to lie. Back here with O'Brien, who's 0.7 up, so this will move him up the leaderboard quite significantly. And it does, up to 26. Good lap there. Very nice lap.
Yeah, right in the thick of things for the start of the race, so he's going to be a handful there in that similar Dick Johnson old school livery as well as the Shell Helix one that we've been used to seeing back in the late 90s.
Definitely. So you are, of course, watching the Thermaltake OOR Sprint Series. This is round 2, split red from Spa in the Ardennes in Belgium as we take a look at these fantastic liveries. And, of course, a big thank you does go to Thermaltake. Make sure you go check out their website if you are in the market for a nice fan or maybe a very cool PC case or maybe even an entire gaming PC. And, of course, if you are an OOR member, you can get yourself a cheeky 10% off, and all the details are in our Discord.
I tell you what, Sean, I had a little squiz at their website there last week too, and tell you what, some of their pre-done PCs, if for those people that don't want to, get in the process of building, they look pretty smart. So it's something that you don't want to actually tuck away. You'll probably want to put them on show so everyone can just be in awe of some of that great machinery there. So definitely have a look at them. Definitely some nice bit of hardware for your sim racing.
I couldn't agree more. And those people and me, I don't build PCs. Too much technical for me. So we are having a look at. Oh, geez, I love this Kovacs Black Porsche. Reminds me of Brashers. Remember Brashers?
Yes, sure do. And I'll tell you what, they look brilliant, don't they?
They certainly do. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's a beauty. There's the other Kovacs Porsche. They've done a great job with these Porsches. They look absolutely awesome. Fingers crossed I might get to drive one in an upcoming Enduro. Hint, hint.
There we go. Maybe hot off the press there.
Oh, look at this McLaren.
There's a couple of nice
both of them
out there.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's just classic. And that is just bold.
It sure is. And look at this one, big cheeky grin of the BMW. It's pretty cool looking front end on that, using the headlights as eyes.
Looks like a really, really angry Rexy.
Yeah, it does. And that Milwaukee, we loved that last week too. So we'll see if we can see more of that. I think there's two of them actually out on the grid, to be honest. Different numbers.
It's certainly popular, the V8 supercar livery on the Mustang, definitely.
Yeah. That Nissan. Good old Mobile 1 vibes there. I'm sure some of the viewers will start seeing some favourites out there, so hopefully let us know if there's some nice liveries there that take your fancy. Because I tell you what, these guys have done some brilliant work out there, and there's some tiresome time, but it takes some time to get some of these liveries in onto these cars as well. So it's a big shout out to all those livery creators amongst OOR.
Definitely, they do an amazing job. And I did see the tea cozy of the one and only Chris Murphy. One of my absolute favourites. I love the tea cozy. Looks great. As the field now rolls away. 37 cars on the grid, so this is going to be brilliant. And it is going to be Brady Alton that will control the field. And I believe one L Keys is at the back as well, so that's going to be a spicy watch.
Yeah, well, anyone that watched the split red last week did actually see an absolute brilliant drive from Lucas Keys. We saw him go from the back of the grille up to position 16, I think within 2 laps or 3 laps last week. So let's see what he can do this week. Spa, bit trickier with this big grid. Hopefully they can all get through over the top of Radion without any incident going down the Camel Straight. But I tell you what, this is going to be a very interesting start. You reckon some of these drivers are going to have a few little nerves with the size of this grid out there tonight, Sean? Because, you know, with the endurance stuff, we know they're a long race, but these two shorter sprint type format, I think everyone will be a bit elbows out possibly.
Well, what we've seen, the pattern has been is race one's very much a Sunday drive out there in the Volvo, but race two, yeah, it turns into a bar and brawl on a Saturday night in Broady. It's both races, race twos last night were absolutely action-packed. If you haven't watched them, go have a look. They were unbelievable. So I'm going to predict we'll probably see the same thing tonight. I think we'll see a little bit more action. There's just a few more. I'll say it. There's a few more egos in this split.
Yeah, I was going to say, Split Red normally do turn it on a little bit for everyone. It's the end of, almost getting near the end of the week. So I'm expecting a little bit of fireworks this opening round, and we'll see where everyone stands after this reverse grid into race two. But I'm really looking forward to it anyway. So as they're starting to line up and get prepared shortly, I'll let you take over, Sean, and we'll both get through this first lap.
Here we go. So over 35 GT3 cars, round two of the Thermaltake OOR Sprint Series from Spa. Split red, race one. It is Alton leading the way, very close to a 15 in qualifying. And then we got Alice there in the Audi. Johnson, Monks, Begg, Taufik, Rashuti, Salvaggio, Goeb and Chalmers are your 10 with Samuel and Ing just outside as they head down now the F1 start line. So this is where you sort of now want to get yourself in the right position, because it is quite a long drag, because you've got to go around La Source and then all the way down the hill towards Eau Rouge before you can plant the throttle. And we have seen a few drivers just get themselves a little bit out of position right here. They sort of go around La Source and go, oh, panic a little bit. So really important here. This is going to be something. I'm looking forward to this one. We've already had a fantastic round 2 in the Thermaltake OOR Sprint Series, but Split Red now is about to be unleashed. Alton leads away in the big bad Mustang, and the Audi right there of Alice. And we are racing as they head down now towards Eau Rouge and Radium. Alton in that Mustang, just a power, just goes, thank you very much. Alice takes the shortcut, but looks like everyone's going to get through there nice and cleanly. Now the big run down Camel Street down towards La Source. This is where you got to sort yourself out. We will see a bit of 3-4 wide action. And you see there, looks like Johnson in the Bentley is in the tow. Alice trying to hang around the outside there at Lecombe. Oh, there's a touch there with Johnson. Just got the elbows out. And Johnson just ticks in behind Alice now as they all get through Lecombe cleanly. Great opening start here from Split Red down into Rivage. Really important. Monk's got a nice start there as well. Looks like Begg's got a good start. So everyone really clean at the moment. Looking back here at Salvaggio. Oh, they go side by side through No Name. Slight touch there. That is Taufik getting the job done. And in the background is that Rashuti in the Ferrari. Oh, he had a bit of a look there at Puon. You've got to be super brave to try that as we jump on board with Salvaggio now. Back here with Carl Johnson currently in 13th. As they go too wide at the exit of Puon, if you don't mind. Now through into Piff Paff. And everyone sorts himself out. Very clean start here, Neil.
Yeah, there's just a Puon there. There's 2 cars off the track too on the map there. So we'll have to see, I think it's O'Brien and maybe someone else as well. But look, this action here with his Kovacs Porsche is absolutely brilliant with Carl Johnson. And Begg also up in P5 in that McLaren. He did go off at Lecombe a little bit to try and avoid some of those elbows out, but got back onto the track. So I think he would have avoided any sort of track cut there, and they done well, as you said, in that opening part of this lap. But we're still going to get this lap done. We've got the bus stop, and all the drivers here are hitting the brakes on their mark. Nice, no one's running too deep. Oh, talking about that, there's a little turnaround there at the bus stop.
That's very easy to do. That was a light blue Ferrari there. I'm sure our main man in the box will get that on our replay, but that's very easy to do at the bus stop, and it can cause a real concertina effect. So everyone did very well to avoid that, as we are still riding with Carl Johnson here. And this is a great battle here with Ing and Samuel just up ahead as they head up through Eau Rouge now. Oh, wow, that was very close. Oh, Carl holds on to that. I thought that was going to do Porsche things there, but he is now very vulnerable, because that BMW will easily munch that Porsche in a straight line as we ride back on board here with Breno Ellis chasing Addleton. So Breno, I thought, lost a little bit of ground, but it looks like he's just gathered that back up, and now he's going to get to work. This will be interesting. Mustang versus Audi around Spa.
Yeah, and this is a bit of a fresh scene to see the Audi so competitive as well. Obviously second, I think he started this race, and he really wants to keep on the back of Addington if he can. He doesn't want to give Addington a bit of a break, which happened last week as well. So they're going to try and keep that pressure on. Here we go for a replay, as you can just sort of see what happens here.
Oh, it's a bit of side-by-side action. Couple of Ferraris getting in. Oh, wow. That is, yeah, I'm just going to call it, that's murder. It's, poor O'Brien. Yeah, absolutely innocent party there.
Yeah, that's one of those things that can happen too, that occasionally it could be just maybe a bit of a moment of a screen freeze from the car behind, or just getting a bit confused, disorientated. But yeah, it wasn't a very nice thing to see. But look, they'll push on. That's one of the things that they'll try and do.
It's always good to try and finish 100%, but as always, hope all drivers are okay, especially if they're using a direct drive wheel. As we are looking here at the one and only Nathan Monks at the moment, currently running in 4th in the Aston. He's just maybe falling off the back of Johnson just a little bit, getting a little bit of a train behind him. So he's got Begg, Taufik, Salvaggio and Rashudi just following along there as Breno does set the fast lap at 2:17, pretty much dead, if you don't mind race lap. That is flying.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying a good draft from the Mustang in front too as well. So as long as he can stay within that tow, I think you'll see him sticking there and getting those nice leg up down the straight.
Oh, you got to watch that curve. It always worries me when they hit that curve.
I was going to say Monk's car was pretty brave there. Here we go, looking at a replay again, coming into the bus stop, which we just saw. That's just a lazy touch, wasn't it?
It is. That was the Golf McLaren. Yeah, it's so easy to do. You're right, lazy touch, and then it turns into a very slow spin, which I've always found is the worst kind of spin.
They are. I think even the car that's been spun and the car that does do the light tap as well that causes it, I think both feel fairly frustrated and annoyed at the same time. But look at this view at the back here as we're looking at Begg putting a lot of pressure on Monks. Nathan really's got his work cut out here.
Certainly has.
Position 4 here, and he's lost a little bit of time, obviously, to Johnson with his battling, so they're sort of probably just slowing each other down with this battle. But again, 30-minute sprint races, there's no time to really think about it. It's all out, and Begg will be trying to see if he can make this move, maybe into the get a good run through not Puon, through these two corners. Which ones are these ones? Savalot?
Savalot, yeah.
Get a good run down here and then into Blanchemont and see if he can get a move down at the bus stop. So we'll just see what he can do. He's lost a little bit of time though.
Just noticing there as well, the Aston, just such a stable race car. Just got to put it on the line and it's just nice and easy to drive, where you can see Begg in the McLaren just sliding it around. Classic McLaren behaviour. So we're going to cap it. Now, I do believe position 19 is the bubble number. Or around that mark, so we'll keep an eye on that as well for pole for the next race 2. So we are looking here is it's the one and only John Gormley is in 19th position. Well, look out in the 666 Mustang.
Yeah, that's that Milwaukee one, car 2 of the Milwaukees.
He'll be stoked with that. We'll hear about that all night if he gets on pole. Back on board with Marcus Sound. Is that
what we're saying for the reverse grid? 19th is the point?
I believe so, yeah. I believe 19th is the number. Happy to be corrected as always, but I reckon it'll be around that 17, 18, 19, so it's got to be one of them, surely.
Yeah, we might get Viney. Pete might just slow down a little bit if he can get himself on pole and just let Gormley get that position. So we'll wait and see if there's some bit of gamemanship going on there in the back half of the grid, ready for race 2. But back up here for position 4, this looks like this is going to be the race right through to the end. We've almost got a 5-car, could even get to be a 6-car battle in the next couple of laps if Begg can't get past.
Yeah, Monks is going to have to put all his skills to the test here, because he's definitely got Begg all over, and you can tell Begg just got a little bit more confidence in his car. He can place it just a little bit more aggressively, where Monks has just got to drive it a little bit more defensively on the racing line. 21 minutes remaining, heaps can happen, but he is getting a little bit of a train as Ishan picks up a 15-second penalty. That's car 29 as they head off now down towards Paul Ferrer. So we are on board with Taufik at the moment.
Yeah, Taufik's obviously after a good race again, and I think he had a visit with the stewards last round as well, having a big moment. But look, it looks like he was going to make sure that he shows he's not that type of driver, and he really won with that Ferrari. So let's see if he can make a move on Begg. He might be getting a bit frustrated seeing Begg can't make a move on Monks, and Taufik might try and show how it's done. We'll wait and see. But look at this 6-train battle now. It's really starting to get closer.
has been simmering, so was it Corma hot, and we're just slowly warming towards Vindaloo hot. Now, bang puts it. No, that is the corridor of confusion. You can't put your car there, and that was always going to happen. That was a gap of diminishing returns.
Yeah, it's the no-go zone, really, isn't it? So, but anyway, look, they've corrected him back around, but maybe a penalty may be coming Begg's way. But let's hope that gets through okay. But we'll leave that to the stewards as we're right on board with shooting. And I caught that last round. I've been used to seeing him in the Lamborghini, Sean, and he's now in a Ferrari. And look at this battle on that side by side into Lacombe, and it looks like he's been able to hold off Chalmers. I mean,
that's Gobi. It's
Gobi,
no, Gobi. I think Gobi got. What's happened there?
It's definitely a must. It's definitely a Ford there. It wasn't. Porsche,
ACC things. Back here with Johnson, who's actually just started to tack back onto the back of Ellis, so he was losing a little bit of time, but I've just been watching that gap as we've got ourselves a replay here of that incident with Monks and Begg. So down into La Sauce, and that's not a place there. It was unfortunate, but it was always going to close that gap, and no doubt our fantastic stewarding team will be all over that.
I'm looking forward to see what Patrick can do here in this fruit bowl Bentley on Ellis. It's absolutely looking beautiful out there, and you can also see Adden up in front as well.
Here we go. So. Honda at Eau Rouge. I reckon I know what's going to happen here, and there we go.
Honda thing come through. That was Radion. You can't park there, as they say. That's not a good spot. And how good's the race, the broadcasts are going here at the moment.
Oh, here we go, round 2. There was another. This is getting very willing now.
It sure is.
And I reckon if I'm Rashidi, I'm like, yep, I need to get out of this quick, smart. Great race so far. Plenty of action. Of course, these fantastic pictures are brought to you by the one and only Benjamin Hignett, who's doing an almighty job in the box here. We've got a real pro setup as we're looking back here at this battle now with Johnson and Ellis. The Bentley with its big turbo V8 just outpowers the Audi. But the Audi very late on the brakes. Ellis is going to have a conversation about this. He's going to try and run it around the outside and then flick it up the inside. Great exchange. Fantastic. It's still going again. Johnson now down into Ravage. He thought about it. But Ellis will shut the door. They're still going to go side by side now, heading off towards No Name. I thought he's going to try and hang it around the outside of No Name, but that's not the place to do it.
No, it's not. And this is actually working in for Adderton here. He's been able to skip away a little bit. They're so close. You can't get paper in between the rear and the front of these two cars.
Johnson here taking the esports line through Puon. Now down into Piff Paff. Johnson, he's going to have another crack here. You can just see it. He's very confident. Of course, he is chasing the Audi. Normally, you've got to be a bit of a unit to drive that thing.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, Ellis.
Johnson, look at the Bentley. Yeah, look at this.
Just closing him in, reeling him in.
He's going to go for a move here at the bus stop. It just got a little tail out the exit of Blanchimont. Now sets it up. How deep does he want to go? But that Audi can break very deep into the bus stop. As long as he gets the second part right, there's not a move there. So Johnson's just going to have to find another way past this Audi. But this is a great exchange so far.
Yeah, it sure is. But look at the gap now. What Adderton's been able to do is another 10-second penalty he's been given to Ahmad for causing a collision on lap 2.
Here we go, on board with Ellis. Yeah, here we go again. That's just mean, Mike. Oh, look at that. What curbs?
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. Johnson outside again, heading into Lacombe.
Watch the brake lights.
Oh,
For
touch.
the Audi so much later to get the brakes on. As you said, Sean, the Audi can just brake that little bit later, so that's the strength for the Audi between these two. But can Johnson just wear out Ellis and get Ellis just to make a little bit of a mistake on exit on one of these corners where the Bentley then can show its legs down the straight? That's what he's going to really need. Or even the Audi just to have a little bit of a moment, maybe through El Rouge or something like that. Over Radion, we'll wait and see.
That's the thing with this battle as well. Both drivers would know the strengths and weaknesses of their cars as well. Alice doing a great job. We'll just keep an eye on one thing as well. I'm just looking in the background here. Taufik currently in 4th, 3.4. Just keep an eye on that battle because it is getting closer. I was just going to say that. I thought Taufik was just starting to close up on these two. So the more these two throw fisticuffs at each other, Taufik's going to sense an opportunity, and we could have a three-way fight here for second spot on the podium. But Allenton looking very strong out in front at the moment. 4.2 seconds to the good with a tick under 15 minutes remaining in the Thermaltake OOR Sprint Series. Round 2 split red as Johnson again shows the nose, but again the Audi just a demon on the brakes. Ellis is so good into the bus stop, and they will go around again. But this is a great race.
It sure is. And as you said, Sean, that light blue Ferrari of Tafiki's just starting to show up on our screens now in the background, lap after lap, so every screenshot. So it's not too long before Tafik. So this is where Johnson wants to see Ellis have a little bit of a slip up. Maybe just he transitions from El Rouge up through Radion to see if he can get that little bit more of an overlap. Ellis is doing such a good job, but look at the run. He's going to be forced on the outside again. I just think that this Audi, he just
squeeze.
Watch those brake lights again on this rear shot. Just see how he can just go a bit later. But this time,
Johnson slides it through Lacombe. Doesn't pull it up. Wow, that was a great bit of car control there from John. But this is on now. This is properly on.
It sure is. It's great to see. It's absolute pleasure actually to watch these drivers, how they can race so hard and keep it so clean as well. Like, yes, there might be a slip up every now and then, but it's just magic watching these guys. It's art in motion basically, isn't it?
Certainly is. Both highly skilled operators, and they are pushing these cars to the absolute maximum. You can see there Johnson just sliding a little bit through Huon. So we've got ourselves a replay. That is definitely, I know that's Lunchy. And that's a Mercedes. Oh, that's too wide through Blanchemont. Ouch.
The one and only Mercedes as well on the grid. I think possibly.
I think you might be right there. Yeah. So that's a shame there. Unfortunate. But we are back. We're live with this absolutely rip-snorting battle. Breno Ellis currently in second. He's got Johnson right behind him. I'm just keeping an eye on Taufik. He's definitely closing. Yeah, 100% he's closing now. So they're still going to have to actually get their heads down because they don't want to turn into a three-way fight. Especially on... Oh, yeah, we do. I mean, I want everyone to close up. 10-way fight. Let's go.
I tell you what, Lucas Key's up in the 15th as well. I don't think he's going to be able to get too much. Oh, he'll be able to get up a bit higher, but he's going to be mid-pack in that reverse grid race as well. So we should see a little bit more of Lucas in that Nissan race too. So make sure you stick around here for Thermaltake Sprint Series to end Thursday night for Split Red. But at the moment, we've got just over 11 minutes remaining, and this battle is just getting enthralling lap after lap. We're just going to see where he can wear out Ellis, or if he can, because Ellis is just holding strong again. They get so close, but
this time he's got to run now. Ellis out. He's going to go super deep through here, but Johnson's going to hang it around the outside. Heading down now towards Rivard. He got that done. That is an absolutely brilliant move there from Johnson. Can he just get this exit right? He has. That is stunning. Fantastic move from Johnson.
It was a beautiful move. I thought he might have left himself a little bit open there where he didn't close the door once he made that overlap. But look, that's really great racing. He had confidence in his Bentley that he could get that job done, and he did. And now let's see if he can start pulling away from this Audi so he doesn't get attacked under the brakes in the bus stop.
Look, it looks like we've got a car stopped up there on Eau Rouge near Radion. Hopefully that is way out of the way as we're looking here at Beg at the moment. Back here with this battle, Johnson and Alice. Now, really important Alice to stay in the toe of the Bentley because then he can use his brakes. If he loses that slipstream, I just think the Bentley's going to drive away.
Yeah, I think you might be right, but look at the... Oh, here we go, and it's a replay.
Oh, no, Honda things again.
This is a second time around, I think. And again, the rear end this time, I think he stayed off the circuit, so he didn't get it, leave it on the circuit, which was just good to see. But you don't really have a say when the car goes away on you up through there either.
Especially the Honda. That is the one and only Mad Mike Crick. Here is Taufik, and he is definitely closing. And just been watching Rashuti, this battle as well between Salvaggio, Beg and Rashuti. It's been very close the whole time as well. And it's almost like Rashuti's just waiting for these two up ahead to get into it, and he might be ahead just to pick up the scraps as we go. That's a great shot as we go through Eau Rouge and up the top over Radion.
Yeah, and we've seen Grant Begg, as you said, they do get on. Like he's been pretty elbowed out, Grant, so we'll see if he can keep this clean with Salvaggio. He's obviously had a bit of a problem with Monks, but he's got his eyes forward here. So Rashuti, as he said, may just be sitting here. He knows what's been going on. He would have seen those the exchange earlier on in this race as well. So yeah, so he may just sit back here and see if he can pick up some pieces.
Yeah, definitely. I think also, I've just noticed with the McLaren, I don't know, it just slides. You got to drive it on the slide sometimes, it looks like. Every McLaren I watch is always sliding the rear end for some reason.
Yeah, that cost him in the longer race, I think, in the opening round where the tyres just went away from him at the end of the race, because I don't think they changed tyres in the mandatory stop, they just put the fuel in. So as that race got on, he just dropped back a bit further and further. So with the shorter races here, he should be going all right, but yeah, tyre wear, he might just be suffering a little bit more than some of the other cars out there.
We're back with this fantastic battle for second place between Johnson and Alice. The maximum up through Eau Rouge. Everything looks normal. That's no. That is, yep. One second-hand Aston Martin, well used for sale.
Yeah, pretty much. I tell you what, this is going to be interesting. So Ellis has been able to just cool things down and been able to get it like so start onto the back of Johnson again. So Johnson might skip away, but Ellis is doing a great job out there just to stay on the back and be in touch with Johnson. But look at this four-way battle now. This is getting very spicy between the two McLarens.
It certainly is, and there's some feeling in this battle pack as well with the early incident. Keep an eye on us. This is going to be spiced right up. We've got 6 minutes remaining, so plenty of time for someone to make a move. There you go, the Camel straight now. Yeah, looking forward to this. And look in the background. I thought I saw a big bad Mustang, and it is the one and only Tim Gobbick. Of course, joins me in the box on a Wednesday night. Get after it, sir, as Cricky will pick up a 5-second penalty there. But this is looking very... Oh, once again, Beg right on the slide in the McLaren.
Yeah,
that would not do his rear tyre. It looks good, but yeah, rear tyres
exactly.
wouldn't be happy.
So Monks again, so here he is, and as you said, he's got to go behind him now. Starting to close that gap. He's still got a little bit of breathing space with just 6 minutes remaining. But I tell you what, he will want to try and see if he can make room back up here and get one on Begg again after the earlier exchange. But he's doing a good recovery drive, I think, at this stage, Monks, because he would have been a little bit hot under the collar with that turn one earlier on.
Yeah, I think so. But you do just use it, and he's obviously used it. He's like, right, okay, we'll get the head down. Still a long race, and he's right there again. And we know Rashuti. Once Rashuti gets into here he goes. Rashuti's like a angry Rottweiler. He just can see a position now. Oh, Blanchimont, hang on. Settle down. Oh, no! Huge touch of Blanchimont! Oh, no. And Begg's gone around, and Monks goes, thank you very much, I'll take that. Oh, dear, no. That is not the place to make a move there.
I think even if he's in his Lamborghini, he would have still touched him as well, so he can't explain that he can't use an excuse of the different manufacturers of the cars, of the bonnet being too long or anything like that, but oh, that's a shame because it looked like he had a good run. But yeah, as I said, you actually commented about Blanchimont. You went, oh, hang on. And here we are. We held our breath.
Here we go. Replay. So Rashuti's right in the toe here. He pulls out. There is a slide. And it's no. So Begg ran a little wide. Then Rashuti thought he'd fire it in there. Oh, yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. But of course, though, the beneficiary of that is one Nathan Monks, who just said thank you very much, and that's some good positions there. Of course, it is a long championship, so any points you can get is very important. And that moves him up to 6th position now. And I'll tell you what, he might smell a bit of Salvaggio here. He might think he's half a chance.
Well, he's been seeing the McLarens, as you said, sliding around. Their tyres are starting to cry out, enough's enough. And you know, really, that's all Rashuti had to do. He just had to really put his pinky out, and he would have taken, spin Begg around because he was on a bit of a slider at the time as well. But again, I think it was just one of those things that Blanchimont trying to get two cars in there. It's you hold your breath, that's for sure. But now we're looking at Gobi here, seeing what he can do, pick up any pieces. Probably got 2 laps remaining to try and get this job done.
It's been a very nice race here from Gobi. He's just let the race come to him, and I reckon he's drove a very smooth opening stint because he looks strong in the back end of the race. We see a lot of cars sliding around that, but look at that Mustang. It looks planted, and it is very fast.
Yeah, it's looking good. Definitely out there. Can't see the sister car where it is on the leaderboard there, but the 666, I think it was, of the Milwaukee one. We saw him earlier up in position 19, I think it was, but he's dropped down the order a little bit.
There is John Gormley. So he's had a bit of a day, a learning experience race, but I'm sure he'll fight back in race 2 as we're back here with Go Up at the moment. And he's just sailing up to the back of Rashuti here. Now, if I'm Rashuti, I get nervous about now.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen that power of the Mustang, and there will be another lap after this one. So it's the Ford Mustang can probably just see where he's strong, how much he makes up here, and see if he can think of a line that he might be able to attack next lap around. And I tell you what, Rashuti's done a good job over the top there, and he's been able to have some top end speed.
Back here with a replay. Yeah, on board. Oh, no. Oh. Yep.
Possibly.
That's a disappearing Mustang. That's Gormley. Gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Oh, that's a shame. Looking at Brian Tan now with a 10-second penalty. So the penalties just starting to come in now. Of course, big thank you does go to our amazing stewarding team. Easily the hardest job in OOR. They do a tireless work. And of course, all voluntary. They are legends, so get around them. It's been a relatively quiet race 1. I've just jinxed it now, knowing me.
And we haven't seen the Pizza Hut car of Adderton, so Brady doing a good job out there with all that battling behind him. He's got a nice 6-second margin over the Bentley of Johnson. So he's enjoyed a nice run out here. Leisurely drive for race 1. I don't think it'll be as leisurely for race 2, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think race 2 we're going to have, yes, some things. Looking at Ishan here at the moment. Currently our lead driver, but is carrying a 40-second invoice. So that will definitely drop him down the order. How far? We will have to wait and see. Looking here at Spider Scanlon. Doing it very nicely there. Currently running in 20th.
Yeah, it's good to see these drivers doing a good job out here amongst a lot of very quality drivers and holding their own basically. But yeah, I think the car in front, as we were saying, frequent fly points there with the penalties at the moment.
Certainly, it's one of those things that's all part of the learning experience. Oh, I'm just keeping an eye on this because it's settled down.
Yeah, we've already seen enough through Blanchimont, so...
Of all corners on the track as well, like, you think, oh, I've got to go side by side. Oh, we'll just go side by side through the quickest corner on the track. No worries, why not?
It's kind of inviting sometimes, though, I'd say. If you see a car miss that first initial turn, you think, well, I'm just going to take mine and put my nose in and see what happens. But, yeah, it doesn't normally end well.
I've got a challenge from JC. Oh, you're very funny. Here we go. So I've got a challenge from the one early JC in chat. I've got to pronounce P-A-T. Oh, yeah, all right. Schweizer 1 Shafik. There you go. I reckon that wasn't bad. Schweizer 1 Shafik.
That's very good.
Do you want to have a go, Hainsey?
I'd just say mode.
Nice. So currently looking here, so Spidey apparently is on pole for the next race, according to inside information. So you might just want to hold on to that. Looking back here at a replay of a BMW. Oh, it is Rex, one of the Rexes. Oh no! Oh, through our Russian radiators. Oh, it gets the grass. Oh, unfortunate. I thought he was going to hold on to that.
Yeah, it was looking good for one stage, but not quite could get in the end. But getting back to Scanlon, I think that he's going to inherit 19th with that time penalty for the car in front. So if it's going to be that car 20, maybe even Jensen might even find himself possibly.
Sorry to interrupt there. Adelton takes the win. Johnson there in second, Ellis in third. They had a fantastic battle, those two. They are my two drivers of the day for race 1. And then Taufik will finish in 4th, Salvaggio in 5th, Monks in 6th, Rashudi, Goab, Chalmers and Johnson, Samuel and Keys up to 12th position from the back of the group. Mega drive from Lucas Keys, but really is standard operating procedure from the kid. And then Graham Bagg in 13th, Jusman, Scotty Rochford there in 15th, Pete Varney, Savaka 18th is Shwazwan Shafik just for JC. Na Ishan in 19th and Scanlon in 20th, but of course they are provisional.
Yep, and look at this run to the flag.
Oh, got a bit of a race there towards the end.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of Kovacs cars all grouped together as well, team, so they did pretty good up there.
The split Kovacs, didn't you know?
That's pretty much.
So that is race 1 run and done. But it is Allerton that will take the victory in the Pizza Hut Mustang. 131166 Pizza Hut deliver it. Always wanted to say that. And of course, now what will happen is we'll wait for the race results. We'll go through those. And then, of course, we'll have another qualifying session for the bottom half of the grid. And, of course, the top half of the grid will be reverse gridded. So it should be a pretty uneventful race. I don't think much will happen.
Oh, not at all. It's going to be a very interesting second race, that's for sure. And Scanlon, it's they've got the camera on him, so possibly that could be the pole position.
Oh, that's a very second-hand Mustang.
So where do you think he's gone nosed in? Either Podium or something?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, there's so many places on this track that you can have a moment. I won't be dignifying that with a response, bad Mike. So that is race 1 done of the OOR Thermaltake Sprint Series Split Red from Spa-Francorchamps. And it was Brady Addleton that took the victory. Fantastic drive. Sort of a bit of a fight there earlier on, but once he got out in front, it was really no trouble at all. But as we were saying, race 2, I think, is going to be extremely different.
I tell you what, did you just see that on that screenshot in the pit lane of Dan
Foxtrott's
Porsche? That takes the cream.
Yeah, that's, I believe, the Absolute Race. Oh, I'm testing my memory now. Was it Absolute Racing? It was run in Bathurst. I know that Matty Campbell drove it. Yeah, I think it was Absolute.
Yeah. Before COVID times, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it was.
So long ago. It
is. Time flies. As second qualifying session gets underway. And, of course, this is a 10-minute session. And this will be for position 21 down on the grid.
So for all the viewers, basically that's where we'll be seeing plenty of cars in the pits. I guess the top 20 all stay in the pits, while everyone else below that gets out there and gets their times in.
Really important as well to get yourself a nice clear gap around this circuit. It's very easy to get maybe sail up to the back of a driver, and aero wash is a proper thing in these cars, especially in something like the McLaren, which is so aero dependent.
They didn't actually have a good look at those results there in the end, but did Gormley actually finish, or was that a disconnect that we did see when he blinked, when he disappeared, that he didn't come back?
Yeah, not too sure what happened there, so not sure it was just a bit of a drop out, as they say, or was a full disconnect. Well, I'll certainly have a debrief with him after the race and we'll find out.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll be looking for a better one this time around. Maybe that's why he may have dropped it back out of the top 20 originally. Maybe he's having a few little issues with his connection that can also put you off while you're driving.
Of course, an ACC has its beautiful thing where someone joins a lobby and the screen freezes. Doesn't put you off at all.
No, not at all. I've actually have experienced that in the endurance one, and unfortunately have to apologise to the other team, knowing that next time I saw my screen I was in the boot of another car. So it's not nice, but sometimes these little things do happen.
Technology, awesome.
But where would we be without it? We wouldn't be enjoying ourselves here. It's come a long way from the old days of sim racing, I should say, the early days.
It certainly has. Sim racing, of course, one of the fastest growing sort of gaming genres, I would say. It's especially during COVID times, sim racing absolutely exploded.
Sure
and it seems a few people stuck around, which is good.
Yeah, it is, and how much time do we sometimes comment, oh, I've lost my force feedback, but that's how we started back in the day too. These wheels, when they first come out, they thought they were the best thing since sliced bread, but there was no force feedback in them. We were wrestling them around.
Yep, but you thought you were a hero. You thought it was the best thing in the world.
Exactly.
So we are riding on board here with Gormley as well, and we get a beautiful view of this fantastic circuit. And we get to listen to that Coyote V8 sing in the Mustang. Of course, Gormley, another one of our fellow commentators, so we always like to see our fellow commentators have a good run. And he's a very funny man as well.
Yeah. But there's not much of a gap. You were saying earlier that's one that you want to have a bit of a gap. Maybe he's slowly caught up to the back of this Aston Martin in front. I think it is an Aston, it looks like it. But as you said, it can hold you back a little bit if you're going for a lap after a few multiple laps. So hopefully he can get this one done and then maybe just back it off and reset for another one. But he's in amongst a bit of a traffic behind him. You can see in the map as well, so he can't slow down too much if he needs to reset.
He's put. Oh, it looks like the Aston is going to let him go, so that's very handy there for Gormley.
Yeah,
Got a truck on. It is good to see. As William Braid goes to the top, so Gormley does go to the top there with an 18.9. So he is currently 21st on the grid, but we're going to call it pole. We're going to call it a pole. It's still a pole position.
Oh, for sure. You've got to let these guys have the limelight and let them have that after the session before we go through. But have a look, here we go, the Golf McLaren.
And with an 18.3 as well. Very nice lap there from Rossa. Heading up towards Origin Radion now. Oh, McLaren just rode that beautifully. That was lovely to watch.
Yeah, it sure was.
Now down the long Camel Straight, and then you got to brake it super straight. Now it depends on your driving style. Some like to carry the brake into the corner. Some like to fully release the brake and then carry maybe a little bit more corner speed across the apex of the corner. And he is on maximum attack here, Racer, at the moment. Down into Rivage. Again, very important.
1.3 of a second through there. That was amazing.
Yeah. It was incredible. It was a beautiful through there. Now down into No Name. Again, let it run wide, but not too wide. That is pretty much as much track as you want to use. Now fearsome into Puon. Look at the speed, 160 kilometres, and then you absolutely stand on it. Are we going to see the magic 220 at the end of the Ripple Strip? And we do. Very nice. Now through Piff Paff. 0.7 up. This is turning into a mega lap here from Rossa. Now down to Stavolo. Tricky corner. There's a little bump there. You just see right on the braking point. Can unsettle the front. Oh, slides it through the exit. Now through Paul Ferrer. Flat the whole way. A good lap is about to turn into a mega lap here. 0.8 up on his best lap, which was an 18.3. Now up towards Blanchimont. Absolutely flat. Now the big stop at the bus stop. Make or break time for a lap time here. Clips the apex beautifully. Now swings it back across. Use the camber of the road as he does. Little slidey there on the exit, which cost him a 10th. But we'll go at the top with a 17.6. That is a great lap there from Mike Rosso. Fantastic to watch.
Yeah, sure was. Well called too for that lap around. And he's just doing a slide on the exit of turn one. Just costs him a bit of time on the run down the hill here. But Gormley, we'll see what he can do on return. He hasn't done much here, so maybe just setting up for another lap. Actually, he's actually on the Camel Straight, so he's not setting up for another lap at this stage.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that split. We're attacking. We are attacking.
Definitely.
On board with Gormley now. He plunges down the hill into Rivage. Run again. So many different ways you can take this. It's one of the corners on the track. There is a couple of different lines and different styles. Oh, just maybe missed the apex there at No Name, and you can see he's just blending a 10th or two now. Really got to be aggressive in the pull-on now. Takes the esports line. Yes, he does. 220 at the exit. Oh, 230 in the Mustang. That's silly. As we are 1 minute remaining in qualifying. Gormley's doing a nice job. He's maybe getting a little bit of a toe behind there from the Aston. Just trying to see the number of that Aston. I'm sure the camera will. Oh, the Aston gets right out of the way. Oh, that's a little nerve-wracking.
But the good thing about it, Gormley's got another lap that he can probably, as long as he's got enough fuel, he can really He's got a clear track in front of him now, so he can really put this lap together for the last time around here at Spa. So we'll see what he's going to do. He's going to better his time a little bit here, go up to P2.
Nice lap, an 18.5, and he's certainly got more time to have another crack. Looking back here at Brickley in the GTR, currently in third at the moment.
Yeah, this will be his last
Smiles.
lap.
Here is Smiles at the moment. Will this put a smile on his dial? It's looking very good so far. Does it go the time? Oh, 0.58. Oh, that is very close. Back now with Brickley in the GTR. And he will go across the line in fourth. Here is O'Brien, who had a bit of a forgettable race one, but looking very good so far. 0.3 in his best lap. Currently running best lap of an 18.9.
Yeah, no fault of his own. It was actually into this corner here, I think it was. It's just here that I think we saw, maybe.
No,
it was that we saw.
It was Pawn, yeah.
That was right. I'm loving this livery, though. I loved it last week. Love it this week.
Definitely does echo the Shell DJR cars of back in the day. A little bit too much curb there. Just lose a little 10th here and there. Now it's Pua. So it takes more of the classic line. As we're getting... Oh, I was thinking more Mad Max Interceptor vibes. Oh, yeah, true.
Go.
I can't unsee that now.
It's done.
Meanwhile, we're waffling, and this is turning into a very good lap here from O'Brien. He's only half a second up.
Yeah, trying to attack Brickley if he can in the Nissan. He needs to find that little bit more in this last sector.
Off towards Blanche 1. You can see absolutely red line in the Ferrari.
He's just been pipped by Nandava.
Back here with Gormley at the moment, who's 0.3. Lost a lot of time at the exit of the bus stop there, unfortunately, but goes up to fourth. Back with O'Brien now. Just got the bus stop to complete. 0.4 up, so he found a little bit of time at the bus stop, and it's up to seventh. So a good lap there in the end from O'Brien.
Yeah, very good.
There is Braid at the moment, and Braid will cross the line in 13th. So that's our qualifying done. So it was Rosser that took the pole there, and now they will sort themselves out for race 2. Of course, brought to you by Thermaltake. If you are in the market for a PC case or maybe a pre-built PC or some fans or some sim racing gear, they've got all the good stuff. Make sure you do check their website out at thermaltake.com.au. And of course, if you are an OOR member and you're looking for a bit of gear, we do have a 10% discount. Get it right, idiot. Of course, all the details are in our Discord channel. So a massive thank you to Thermaltake. Great to have them on board for the OOR Sprint Series. And of course, this is round 2, Split Red Race 2 about to get underway. Thoughts, Neil?
Well, I'm looking forward to, I think Lucas Keys is going to take this one out. That's where I think
bold.
it's going to be. I think he's in a good position, and we'll just see how that unfolds. But those Kovac's crew look pretty strong as well in the Porsches, but they may just not have the legs over those bigger cars like the Bentley and the Mustang that we saw in race 1.
It's going to be interesting to see how Keys comes through the field. We've seen the kid do this many times before, but Spa's a whole different animal. So very intriguing as we do look at these amazing liveries. Once again, big shout out to all the amazing livery makers. They do a fantastic job, and it just makes these grid pop with colour.
They sure do.
Now, that Mercedes there, I reckon that's a teammate of that McLaren I reckon they're teammates, just giving you the hot tip.
I think you're right.
That is nice.
Yeah, it's they got the whatever the team name on the side there. It's also on the McLaren. Just up the road, we're almost getting to it. We'll slowly creep up and we'll see the McLaren. So, well found out there. Good observations by Sean.
I have moments.
And here's that McLaren
There it
that
is.
you were talking about.
Yeah. Very nice colour scheme.
Is it Balapan random? I can't read that.
Balapan Random Motorsport.
There you go.
There you go. Very nice. There's the tea cozy. Lunchy's tea cozy.
Could have even been an ugly sweater, couldn't it, as well?
Yeah, it could be an ugly sweater. I just like tea cozy. It reminds me of a tea cozy.
Yeah, definitely tea cozy. All over.
Oh, and the cameraman decided he's had enough.
Off he goes. Well done.
Look, just see that. That's the rarest thing in the world. Blue sky at Spa.
Yeah. And it doesn't make it good racing for it to when it's nice and dry. As here we go. You know a little bit more than me what happens here.
So what will happen now is basically the race director will call out some names and numbers, and they'll get themselves all sorted, and then we can get this race underway. 30 minutes. And I'll be back in literally 1 minute, maybe 2.
No dramas. So as you can see here that we're just going to slow the field down a little bit as they all get themselves sorted through the race director. Looks like they will probably go through here single file once it's all sorted. They just got to make sure that the drivers know they are ghosted, so shouldn't be a problem, but let's hopefully they don't go right through the rest of the field as they come around the blind little corner down the straight. It could be the call that we've heard around Bathurst many years ago. The track's blocked over the top of the mountain. They won't be too long, I guess, and they will start moving. They should be making sure that all these cars are sorted from the reverse order from race 1 for the top 20. And it looks like they're getting the go-ahead to get moving. So again, this is just the formation lap ready to start race 2 for Split Red for Thermaltake Sprint Series, round 2 for OOR. An exciting second race this will be. So we've got this, Scanlon will be alongside Jensen, who's in that Lamborghini.
Here we go. So I am back. Had to have a little nature break.
That's all right. We just had them all parked up down the Camel Straight, but they're now moving as the rest of the field has caught the back of them. So it's all about getting those tyres up, get the preparation done, get some temperature back into those brakes, and just settle those nerves, Sean, because it's going to be a ripper 30-minute race here for the final one of the Thermaltake Sprint Series for Split Red.
Certainly will be. So it is going to be Jensen leading the field away from Scanlon, Zavaka, Schwan Shafiq, Viney, Jasmine Beg, Rochford, the Kid, and then Ramiz Samuel in that beautiful Brashes Porsche. That's what I'm calling it. Oh, I love this shot. What a shot that is.
Get on down the Brashes.
Yep. Pick yourself up a $10 CD. We've got 37 GT3 cars on the grid. Great to see a full grid, as always, here in OOR.
Yeah, what could be better on a Thursday night, I say. If you're not racing, sitting back, enjoying the coverage here for the Thermaltake Sprint Series with Sean and myself. on the commentary, and the great Benjamin Hicknett on the cameras.
And of course, our awesome race directors and stewards, of course. So we're about to get underway from race 2. Of course, last night we did see a lot more action in race 2 as well, and I've got a feeling this one's going to be the same. So I think, yeah, you're right. I think Keys will be hard to beat, but I am going to keep an eye out, I think, for a couple of drivers. One is Pete Viney, and the other one is Scotty Rochford. Scotty's always been a very clean operator, keeps himself out of trouble in that very luscious pink Kovacs Racing Porsche, one of my absolute favourites. Of course, big fan of Annie. There's Igor.
Yeah, Team Kovacs very well and truly represented here for Split Red.
They all line up now. Of course, we'll keep an eye on Addleton down there in 19th as well. As they head around Lasource, get yourselves sorted, everyone. As they cross through their pit boxes. Here we go, race 2, Split Red of the Thermaltake OOR Sprint Series from Spa. Get excited, everyone, because this is going to be an absolute rips and order. 37 GT3 cars about to be unleashed around one of the greatest racetracks in the world. Reverse grid, and we are racing as it head off through Eau Rouge now. And watch that Mustang, because it's got a stonking power down the Keppel Straight. We had a moment in the background already. Oh, there's a couple of cars off. We've had drama. It's happened early, and I reckon that will be a safety car. Are we still under green? Looks like we are still under green racing conditions. So head down the Keppel Straight now, down towards Lacombe. There's 4 wide in the background. Yep, no worries. Sorted out, everyone. Oh, as they get through cleanly, it looks like everyone's tippy-toeing through. No, there's been drama. Right. There's drama. Begs involved. There's cars everywhere. Oh, it's gone off. It's gone off. Safety car has definitely been deployed. Coles Car Park.
Yeah, definitely. It sure is. And you saw, I think it was Gomley in the Mustang in the first instance as well, in the first little incident that we did see. And then that time around, I think Begg was involved as well. So, yeah, there'll be a lot to dissect in that little incident at Lacombe. But yeah, it was going to happen. They were all, as he said, it was 4 wide. They were going to have to sort it all out, and they didn't quite sort themselves out, as it was going to be a difficult task. But I'm sure we'll see a replay very shortly as we're under the virtual safety car.
We are. So everyone's now just going to have to maybe take a breath, have a bit of a think. Of course, chat is going off there. But here we go. We've got ourselves a replay. So the start was quite cool. We got to. Oh, so who is that? Is that Salvaggio? Completely out of position there.
Out of position, yeah, but they did hold the grid for a long time too, I think. So, but here we go. This is where it's going to get in. Oh no, we're live here, but yeah, there's a lot there to have a look at there. But obviously, I think you're right. Salvaggio may have just sort of crossed his pit box a little bit, which could have contributed a little bit. But here, look at this.
This is Lacombe. So let's have a quick look at that monster McLaren. Oh, so it looks like, is that Chalmers there in the Kovacs Porsche that got a little bit of a tap, and then all hell just breaks loose. There's cars everywhere. And the safety car will be in at the end of this lap, and we'll get back under racing conditions. So it is Scanlon that is out in front from Jensen, Zavaka, Shwazwan Shafiq, Jasmine, Keys, Johnson, Rashidi, Allison, Samuel are your 10.
Yeah, well, with Cole Johnson and Rashidi, they got through that fairly well. I don't know if they got involved, if they got unscathed, but you think of quite a few of these cars will probably have just a little bit of damage, but it shouldn't affect them too much, hopefully.
Hopefully not, and hopefully they can keep on trucking along and get themselves a solid. But we are about to go green flag racing again. The Thermaltake OOR Sprint Series Round 2 Split Red Race 2. And of course, Spider can go whenever he wants. And there he goes. He unleashes the Mustang and he is gone. Thanks for coming. So Jensen is going to have to get a little defensive here because he's got Eagle right behind him now. He's got a bit of a move there in the background, and he's the one and only Lucas Keys. And the kid tries to slide it up the inside of Judgment and gets that done easily. And the GTR then unleashes its weapon of mass destruction acceleration and says, thanks for coming, see you later. And that is Keys up to 5th now, and he's on the charge. This great shot as they plunge down in through Eau Rouge. Oh, that's a, wow, is that Judgment it looked like off there? Nearly
took a bit of curve over that camera, and that's where I just held my breath there, but the camera did show that it did push him wide. But look at this 3 wide into Lacombe. They've sorted themselves out here.
Oh no, they didn't. There we go again. Oh wow, oh no! Oh, there's been more carnage. That's Judgment. It's just went around and all hell's broke loose.
Yeah, and the Aston got involved as well, so he's not in the same area.
This is Hamilton trying to pick his way through this, and he's got Monks right behind him. So Monks is a bit like a running back, and he's got his blocker in front of him. Oh, that's Taufik right out sideways. Oh, then clobbers in the side of Gomley. Oh dear, what is going on here? Race 2 once again.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what do the boys have for drink between the races from last night and also tonight? Race 2, a fireworks straight from the start.
Meanwhile, back here, that is Johnson at the moment as he slides past Gomley. We'll keep an eye on Johnson as well. He'll be definitely head down because he can see Addleton up ahead as well, and he will not want to let that Mustang go. He's currently working on the back there of Rosser. Of course, who was our top qualifier in our qualifying just earlier. And this is currently for 13th. Wow, so hopefully everyone now has just settled down a little bit. We can actually get in some good green flag running.
Be a big sight in being in that McLaren, looking in your rearview mirror, seeing that big Bentley behind you. That's for sure.
Nice, Johnson gets that done easily, and he can now press on. And he's off after Monks. Back up towards the front. Zavaka now currently there in 3rd, doing a good job. He's got Keys right behind him. So Keys now up to 4th position. I don't want to say foregone conclusion, but it's got that smell about it.
It sure does, but Adderton's trying to chase as hard as he can. Why, hopefully that maybe Keys just gets held up. But the talent of Keys, I think he'll be able to get these moves done. But it'd be just good if some of these drivers just hold him up that little bit and give Adderton that little bit of time to catch to the back of him and have a race here for race 2.
Get in there, Rigor. He had a little crack there. That was good to see.
He's trying to see if he could challenge there, Lucas, and he did a great job as well. But here's Brady.
Carly in 10th, doing a good job working on the back of Carl Johnson here. And we saw Carl involved in that incident there up at Lecom. And he's got the other Kovacs entry of Samuel in front of him as well. So a bit of a Porsche train at the moment. The Mustang will go, yummy.
Yeah, definitely.
Towards the front. So Jensen's holding on to Scanlon here. I thought Scanlon would just start to drive away and eke out a bit of a gap, but Jensen's doing a great job holding on. But he's going to have to get a bit of his elbows right out now because that GTR is closing in quick of Keys. And once again, it's no disrespect to these drivers, but Lucas is in a bit of a different league. And I just feel like this is going to be how much and not if, but when. But Jensen, he's actually getting the elbows out here. I like it.
Yeah, he's definitely protecting the inside line at the bus stop. But how Lucas can just get his car position ready for that exit as well. And picks up the
if you want a masterclass,
while he's battling, so that's not too bad as well.
If you want a textbook pass at the bus stop, you've just seen it there, ladies and gentlemen. That was absolutely beautiful to watch there from Lucas. The kid is just in a different league. He is very special to watch. But that's enough pumping him up because, Jesus Christ, his ego will be impossible. So we're
He's
back
out
here with
of
Brady.
see a pass, possibly.
Of course we're going to see it past. It's a Mustang on a Porsche.
That's our favourite.
Oh, Carl just makes him earn it, though.
He sure does.
He's now into the lead. So, as easy as like. But we'll keep this battle, though, for second and third. This one's going to rage on. Look at the background now. Eagle's got a bit of a train behind him as well.
Gonna say that position fourth is absolutely on fire as Rashuti is coming into the battle as well. And he's bringing Ellis. We saw a storming drive by him, picking up P3 in the opening race.
And also Brady's going to get onto the back of this as well. So this is going to really start to spice up. Looking here at Trozon Shafiq. Nice drive. Got ourselves a replay here. That's a BMW right in the back of a Ferrari.
I think.
That won't make him smile.
No. Knocked out his front teeth, actually.
Wow, you went there. Jeez, whoa. So back with this awesome battle at the moment with Trozon Shafiq and Rashuti. Two Ferraris going at it. Oh, Rashuti, he loves poking that nose there. It's definitely something he enjoys doing. Just trying to put off the driver in front, and equals just as well as Breno Ellis gets a 15-second penalty for a collision on lap 2. That is very unfortunate, and that is going to make his race all that more difficult. As we now got 19 minutes remaining, so plenty of time for things to happen here. Tell you what, Eagle is doing a great job there, currently in 4th position and really holding on to it as well.
Yeah, you can't miss that Porsche either. That bright blue in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks lovely. I mean, to be honest, you could paint a Porsche in
as well or not?
He is part of the conglomerate.
Okay.
They're all. It's a giant, really. It's a. Think of Triple Eight. Oh, here you go. Yep, Mustang having a bit of a sniff.
As is Rashuti as well.
Oh, Rashuti gets that done. Lovely move. Beautiful move. That's the Stefano I know.
Yeah, for King Slow. They've been around for a long time. And also get into the Endurance Championship as well. But what have we got here?
Oh, it's never. Oh, that's Carl Johnson. Oh, that was that incident from before. That's right. Oh, that was a big hit. That was a huge hit, and that is not going to impress Monks, who's unfortunately had a bit of a mare. It does happen. Yeah. So back here with Rashuti currently in 5th position at the moment. And here is Addleton trying to go around the outside of Trozon Shafiq. There was a slight touch there, so he's going to have to back that off. And then Alice now has a bit of a sniff, as Adjustment does get a drive-through for that unsafe rejoin on lap 2.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is so close. This is poor Ellis. This is where he goes, no.
Yeah, definitely when he knows he's got that 15-second penalty, but look, he'll try and see where he can finish on track as well. He won't die wondering, that's for sure. He would like to put in a good battle if he can.
Head down towards the bus stop. This is allowing just up ahead there, so Rashuti's just sailed up to the back of Zavaka. So we've got a couple little sort of interfights in this sort of long train.
Yeah, and a lot of the Pro-Ams in that top, they've been from 2nd to 4th as well. If that stays that way after they make sure all the grading is right in those classes, but they're doing a tremendous job out on track.
A Pro-Am best class, just saying.
Oh, it is. Since our own team got into Pro-Am, we've been very happy and we really want to hold on to it.
Yep. So all us Pro-Ams do stick together. We're a bit more of the working class drivers. Just looking here at Brady, who is very much not a Pro-Am. Oh, that is very close there on the back there of Mahid. But he's holding that position well. He's really making that Ferrari quite wide.
Yeah, it takes a lot to be able to do that too, so definitely great driving.
This is where the Ferrari's strong. Just watch the TC of the Ferrari. It's ridiculous. Bye.
Gets a good drive out of there.
Down into Puon. Ellis just sitting there. And we're just seeing the background there as well. That looks like the Kovacs train of Samuel Johnson and Johnson.
Yep, sure does.
Of course, good to see the taller paper here again, Johnson and Johnson.
Exactly.
Even though they are spelt different.
It's a year ago since I did the commentary, and a lot of the time we always comment about the Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, that's great.
See that they're still here at Splint Red. I didn't know that a lot of these drivers, there's quite a few that was still around a year ago. So it's just good loyalty to OOR, and just tells you how good the community is, that they keep showing up year after year.
Certainly, it's definitely awesome community. It's definitely my favourite ever sim racing game community, full stop, that I've been part of. Love everyone here at OOR, as that is a Ferrari running very deep, and that's going to allow Brady to have a sniff, and now Alice is going to have a part of this as well. So the Mustang's going to try and place, Brady's going to try and place it up the inside. He's just trying to get that overlap, which he's got now. He should be able to break it nice and straight, get the move done, and Alice is going to try and pick up the scraps here, and he does that. Wow, so that is a double overtake there, and unfortunately there for Trustman Shafiq loses 2 positions in the space of 1 corner.
Yeah, but this is where the racecraft really comes in and just make sure that, you know, he does, you know, just accept that and give up that position and don't try and battle too much, because you could end both cars' races there. So that was well done.
Unfortunately, you did see there, he just had a Ferrari moment through Rouge and Radion
to hold on to it, and now he's under attack by the Kovacs crew.
Comes from his Samuel. He's going to have a bit of a sniff of this as well. He's got his sparring partner, Carl Johnson, there as well. So they're about to hook in, and then the other Johnson's there as well. As we're back here with this battle, Rashudi's going to go around the outside there of Igor, if you don't mind. But Zavaka says, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's holding his nerve out there, that's for sure.
This is a great drive so far. He's got
Adderton. This is going to be a little bit fiery behind as well, so this might give Zavaka a little bit of a breathing space while these two behind him now start to battle.
It is, because look at this. Brady's going to have a bit. Oh, Rashidi, that was so deep on the brakes. How he pulled that up. That is great driving. Oh, gets a nice exit as well, as Igor just loses a little bit of traction at the rear. Brady's going to try and go around the outside, but he's right out on the slide. Holds onto it, and that's going to give Ellis maybe a bit of a sniff as well.
It looks like Rashudi's got a run here if he can try and keep it down the inside here. As he said, he does like keeping his nose. He's got the position here to take it.
Oh, no! No!
Too, but he was well and truly upside, but let's see what happens there. Nice rejoin by the looks of things. But Igor...
Oh, that's a shame for Igor. That was an awesome drive. Real shame. No, we won't unpack it. I won't touch it, but we'll leave that. But, yeah, real shame. Hopefully he can get the head down and still truck on. He's still there in the background, so maybe you can, if this all sort of kicks off, definitely can, what's the word? I think scrape a good result. There, we'll go with that.
I don't know. It could just kick on still, couldn't it? You know, the race, you know, we know what's going to happen in race 2. It's been fireworks all along, and we've still got 12 minutes remaining. I don't think we're done yet. So anything can happen. You just got to keep circulating, keep your head in the game here. You never know what might happen. But Adderton now, we've seen the legs of this Mustang in race 1, and it's here for race 2 as well. And he's very late in the brakes around the outside. And thank you. I think this is a repeat that we saw happen in race 1.
No.
That on Ellis.
You can't be doing that, Brady. That is taking the PI 55.
Pretty much. And while we're enjoying all this battling for the minors, or for the podium pretty much, Lucas Keys is just extending his gap to about 8 seconds. But Scanlon still up into holding that second position in that Mustang. And slowly these guys, Raschuti and Adderton, are reeling him in.
It's drove really well, Spidey. It's a really impressive drive. So up in the second, good to see in the Mustang. Can he hold on? That's the key. I think Brady might get him, but I think it's still the podium's right there. So this is a replay of Jensen, because I did see Jensen slow down as well, and I was just about to sort of find out what was happening. Oh no, Lamborghini things. Oh, crunch. Oh, the Lambo doesn't like that either. That's going to feel horrible.
I feel in a way a little bit better. I was just going to say how good he's been going, but obviously I didn't give him the commentator's curse because he did that all on his own. But he's going to fall back now because he's definitely going to be carrying damage there. I think that he'll find that he's probably got some steering angles happening behind the car there.
Well, he'll have some steering angles. Whether they're the right way, I'm probably guessing not.
Yeah.
Oh, bit of Kovacs on Kovacs action here. Oh, a bit more Kovacs on Kovacs action.
And this is giving Johnson in the Bentley a good little run down here. So let's have a look what's going to happen at Lecombe at the end here. He's going to get a good draft between with these two Porsches. They hold him up.
They do, and now the Bentley will just go. Oh, that's a Ferrari! Oh, there's two from the background.
Oh, sure, we'll see a replay later. But look, here's his challenge for position. I think the Porsche may be able to be a bit later on the brakes.
Oh, look at this though, Johnson. Is he going to try the Brady? He's going to have a crack at it around the outside and slides it. Oh no! Oh, that's huge drama. Oh, so Johnson got out on the slide and just couldn't hold it. And then, unfortunately, Samuel just was an unwilling participant.
Yeah, just too much jandle, as we might have heard before. But it seems that way, that it's just a rear stepped away from him, and he just could not keep hold of it. He did a good job, Johnson, trying to hold on to it. But, yeah, it just got away from him.
What is it with these race twos with about 10 minutes to go? I don't know what it is, but
I'm loving it.
It just turns to carnage.
It definitely is, but there's still some great driving out there. Like, let's not forget about Scanlon there in position 2. And,
here we go. This is the replay here. So we've got Johnson and Samuel up ahead with other Johnson there. Now this is my head. Oh no, Ferrari thieves. Oh, that was a huge hit from Monks. That was a massive hit.
It's a night that Monks was really want to forget, especially race 2. He was able to pick up some pieces in race 1, actually. So he actually did have a good race 1 in the end, but it hasn't happened for him here, race 2, unfortunately, for Monks.
Here we are on board. Oh, just snapped at that curb. Oh, I hope he's okay. First of all, hope everyone is okay and all hands and everything's okay.
Yeah, no,
because that was a big hit.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, the direct drive wheels, they can really, well, I haven't experienced one, but I have heard that they can really shake those fingers if they get in the way. So
back with live action now, and this is Taufik and Russa going at it as they head down side by side down saddle. Thank you. Nice gentleman's agreement there. I think Ross was like, you know what? That's Taufik behind me. I'm just going to back out of this one. Now, this is what happened between Samuel and Johnson. So they're going side by side through Lecombe, and they head down through Mel, and then you just see Johnson lost the rear, and Samuel just nowhere to go.
Samuel was lucky that that car was like on that trajectory to roll back onto the grass, because if he came back out on the track and the lock was the other way, that was going to be another 2 cars involved in that too. So, that was just a bit of luck there.
So it is Lucas Keys, though, leading the way, 12 seconds to the good from Brady Adelton. So Brady's worked his way up in the second, so a fantastic drive. Spidey Scanlon still in third. Huge drive from Scanlon. Let's get behind him. You know I'm a big pro-am because I'm a pro-am myself, so hold on there, Scanlon. Let's get around him. And Raschuti and Ellis, this is good for Scanlon. He needs this. Let these two go at it.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what he wants at this stage. And as I said, Ellis doesn't... We have that 15-second penalty. He'll put that aside. He'll be wanting to try and see if he can get in front of Raschuti. But as you said, the more they do this, the better it is for Scanlon to see if we can get that Pro-Am on the podium for race 2 here of the Thermaltake Sprint Series. And it'll be magic if we can. I think Scanlon really deserves to be there if he can.
He does. He's drove fantastic. Got a replay here. This is the overtake Brady on Scanlon. So they both go through the bus stop. Nice. Oh, Scanlon just goes a little bit too deep. Then from there, he's always under pressure, and this should be a simple outbraking manoeuvre down into La Source, and then he'll just fling it around the outside. I don't think Scanlon's going to fight this too much. No, he doesn't. He's definitely seen that podium, but Raschuti now can eye a podium. He can see it in front of him, but he's got Ellis there, and Ellis really has nothing to lose here.
No, he doesn't, but that's another thing. Is Raschuti, I'm not too sure, because I've been away for, as I said, nearly a year. I'm not too sure how he's been going, if he's seen a podium for a while, but if he hasn't, I'll tell you what, he'll be eyes forward on to try and get Scanlon, and he'll want to make sure that Ellis stays behind him. So good motivation here for Raschuti to find himself back on a podium.
Definitely. Now, what Scanlon has to do, he's got to use the Mustang strengths now. Just drive it nice and straight and focus on exits. Exits is everything.
Yeah.
We know if the Mustang, we know the Mustang, if it gets a good exit, you're not passing it. So, unless, the only thing we have to be aware of as well is unless Raschuti running at mean ring, in other words, no ring, then that will make things very interesting. As they go through Puon now, and just see Scanlon, the front just wanted to bite his. We're back here with Carl Johnson on Jensen. They're going to go side by side through the exit of Puon, and then they're going to break into Piff Paff. Johnson's on the outside. It's not where you want to be. He was thinking about hanging around the outside, but there's absolutely no grip out there. But gets a lovely exit now down into Ravage. Easy, feeling brave enough. Thanks, Bavarot. That's actually Stavilo, but you know what I mean. Back here with this battle. Ooh, look at this. This is really getting lively.
Sure is. So he's just got to try and get through here, as we've seen. Rashuti's just got a little bit of that aero watch, possibly. Ellis now. He's been strong on the brakes in that.
Oh, that's huge for Scanlon. That's massive for Scanlon. He needed that. Oh, here we go. First race back in over 12 months. Big thank you to JC for that info. This is even huge now for the Pro-Ams. Get around him.
Sure is. It's massive, actually, because at this stage...
Let him go.
Yeah, he can, but if he could have tried to keep him behind that little bit longer, but I know that position's going to come back with that penalty, but, you know, just having Ellis behind would have just kept Raschuti behind.
He's in the Mustang, though, so he should be able to overtake here.
Yeah, but we saw how strong Ellis was on the brakes against the Bentley of Johnson in race 1. He was so late on the brakes at Lecombe, so I think that Ellis may be able to hold off here. He's got the inside. He's seen it many times.
Oh, that's...
contact.
Oh, then Scanlon just had to check up there a little bit because he got a little bit sideways. Oh, Rashuti's going to go for the move there, but he thinks better of it. This is for the podium. With 2 minutes 30 remaining, so they're going to have 2 laps to sort this out.
Yeah, it's going to be close here. Scanlon will be sweaty palms at this stage, trying to see if he can do it for the Pro-Ams. Let's cheer him on.
Here we go. So Raschuti, he's just going to back it off here. He's definitely going to set him up. He's just trying to work out where. This is great racing so far. So a quick race recap. So it is Lucas Keys leading the way from Addleton. Then this battle on screen, Scanlon, Ellis and Raschuti. And then Jensen, Johnson, Taufik, Zavaka and Rossa AU10. But back here with Scanlon holding on. You just see the Mustang there sliding out a little bit at the exit of Piff Paff. Now through Stavilo, down into Paul Ferrer. This is where the Mustang, if he just hook it up, then he's okay. He can breathe a little bit. Now he knows that Ferrari's not going to get close enough.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got the toe as well, and as you said, it looks like they're possibly not running much wing in that Ferrari. Look at how much he's been able to catch and be right on the back of the bumper here. Will the brakes the Ferrari outbrake the big Mustang? It was looking this way, but has he gone too deep? He's been able to pull it up, Rashidi.
Oh, how did he pull that up? That's a great bit of driving there from Rashidi.
But Scanlon's got one more lap just to try and put that pressure on Rashidi if he can.
He's got to nail our route.
Yeah, definitely. He's got to get a good exit here if he can.
He's lost a bit of time there.
Yeah, I was going to say the Ferrari looks like he's just pulling away a little bit, got a better exit.
Now through Eau Rouge and Radio. This is where the Ferrari does struggle. It apparently feels really bad now. Is he in the toe? Is he close enough? I don't think he's going to be close enough here.
Yeah, a bit to make up.
Maybe he can still, if he can hold on for a lap. Let's check a replay here. This is a Porsche and a Mercedes and another. Oh, that was just. Oh, no. That looks like that was Rochford, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
just caught out of nowhere.
Yeah. Sometimes there's nothing. All you can try and do is keep your foot flat and just give a bit of room if you can and try and escape and get past. But when the car's spinning out and coming at you, sometimes there's just not enough track.
There is Jensen currently in 7th. He's had an eventful race, but still top 10 as a Pro-Am. Always take that any day of the week. So a good drive there from Jensen. Zavaka as well. Fantastic drive from Igor. A little bit unfortunate, but it's still to meet in the top 10. Oh, we've got a replay here. What has happened here? So there's a little bit of a crisscross action. And then so that's Johnson. And we've got Jensen here. So they're going to go side by side down the F1 straight. Now heading into La Source. Now Johnson goes really strange braking maneuver. He's going to try the undercut here, trying to use that rear traction of the Porsche. Wow, that was a good move. That was a very good move from Carl Johnson.
That's the smarts right there. As we've got Lucas Keys to take victory.
The kid wins. Well done.
Well done for the Thermaltake. Race 2 here at Spa. Well done by Lucas Keys.
Fantastic drive, Lucas.
Coming back for second, and Ellis in a third, but will drop down. We'll see Rashuti on the podium, and then Scanlon will be fourth, just missing out for the Pro-Ams. And then we've got a whole lot of Kovac's crew coming on through as well, with Johnson and got Jensen in the Lamborghini in 7th.
In Taufik, Zavaka, Gormley, Salvaggio, Curtis, Johnson, Murphy, Rossa, Samuel, Atkins, Schwazon, Safik, O'Brien, Tan, Brickley, Viney, and Deshan. And they are your provisional, of course. We'll wait for everything to tick over before we give you the official results. But Lucas Keys takes the victory. Pretty dominant performance, really. Wasn't really ahead once he got out in front. Was pretty much a Sunday drive for Lucas. And then Brady up into second. Great drive from Brady to work through the field. Rashuti will finish in third, but driver of the day easily. The one and only Spider Scanlon doing it for the Pro-Ams. Huge drive. Carl Johnson in 6th. Solid drive from Carl. And then Jensen, I thought, was a very strong performer as well. Good race.
Yeah, it was a really good race. I was going to say, Jensen just got unlucky as he got on over the top of Radion, where he had lost it, and he just clipped those tyre barriers on the outside. If he missed them, I think he would have continued on the grass and then got back onto the straight there on the Camel Straight, but it was that so close, millimetres, as we've got Gormley doing some very nice burnouts for the Mustang.
There's got a few penalties coming in after the race, of course.
Hence why we say provisional, because
we do definitely say provisional. I hope everyone did enjoy the racing this evening. It was a great, fantastic sort of couple of nights of racing here in OOR. And of course, next week, where are we off to next week? I'm not 100% sure, to tell you the truth. I'm sure someone in chat will pop that one up. So a big thank you, of course, does go to our awesome stewarding team, our awesome race directors, the one and only Benjamin Hignett for providing the awesome pictures that you see. Of course, huge thank you does go to Thermaltake for their continued support of the OOR Sprint Series, and looking forward to seeing what things are planned in the future. Final words, Hainsey?
Final words was just make sure you never miss a Thursday night here for Split Red. You never know what you're going to get. And I'll tell you what, Adderton really did do a good job by winning the first race and second here for race 2. So good job by Adderton in that Mustang.
Green light, go, go, go.
Certainly. And the next round is at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Damn, I thought it was Nords. I was getting excited. So recapping our race results, it is Adderton from John. Oh, that's in race 1. Yes, overall. Adderton from Johnson, Ellis, Taufik, Salvaggio moving across to Silver Class. And it is Salvaggio, Goeb and Chalmers. Across in Pro-Am, the best class, Rochford, Jasmine, Viney and Zvaka. Then in AM class it is Shan, Hosseur and Johnson. Moving over to race 2. And it was Lucas Keys from Addleton, Rashuti, Scanlon and Johnson are your 5. And in silver class, Johnson, Samuel and Atkins. And in Pro-Am was Scanlon, Jensen and Zavaka. And then in AM class was Rosser, Johnson and Ishan. And that is OOR round 2 brought to you by Thermaltake. Run and done. And a huge thank you to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all again next week. Thank you for watching OOR.